on the L.
So we're live, just so you know.
Yeah,
I'm in the green screen of my downstairs.
yeah.
Jeez.
No, it's not a green screen at all. Hey boys.
Hello.
Jeff.
Hey.
Hi. So yeah, here we go. We're all about the Alaboom. It is I have a doozy of this is one of those like these things only happen to me. I'm sure they happen to other people, but these things only happen to me type of grievance to utter. But before we like get deliciously into grievances and what have you, I want to introduce our special guest this evening, which is Jeff Cornelius, who is part of the Cornelius Brothers extravaganza that created the game Campaign Trail, which Gray Fox Games, the company I work for, is reprinting.
We had no idea.
Reprinting the base game and also like providing the Green Party expansion with the Green Party Turtles, because Jeff, they don't have an animal, right?
They don't. I looked it up and I could not find anywhere where there was a consensus on what the animal for the Green Party was.
So yeah, I mean, this is I remember like the crate, like that's how the world works, or that's just how things shake out or whatever. Back in 2015 16 or whatever, I remember you contacted me back when I was doing videos and running my channel, and like I did a video for the game way back then, and then so it's one of those things where what's I looking for here? It's like I mean, it was just like weird. It's weird that like basically we ended up like so many years later, like working on the like working together to get the expansion for the game created and made and sent out. So yeah, and like we've already got more backers than the original campaign had, and you know, it's just like, so yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'm excited, and the game's awesome. You can play did I mention you can play it on Tabletop Simulator? Have I mentioned that a few times before? Because you can play it on Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah,
right there. You can play. So you can go, and with the expansion even. But so Jeff's here to hang out, talk shop for a little bit. So Nathan's your brother, right?
Yes. Yep.
And the game, like this is like your dad's game, like originally.
Yeah. So my dad designed this game back. I don't know. It may have been before I was born, for all I know. I remember seeing a version of it as early as around 6 or 7 years old. Probably one of the earliest games I remember seeing, honestly, was this like big, huge poster board my dad had set up with this map of the U.S. on it. And it was all covered in like clear contact paper. And he would just write stuff on it and erase it and write stuff on it and erase it. And that's how he tracked everything on it, just with like a Sharpie, or not like a dry erase marker. And he had this whole game system set up around it. And we used to play other games all the time. And so finally he was like, hey, you should try this game I invented. And I'm like, sure. And so we played it and I liked it. At the time, I didn't know much about game design or anything, but I was just like, hey, you know what? It would be cool if you could do this, you know, that kind of stuff. And so he kind of worked on it. And over the time, as I learned more and more about games, I started helping him a little bit more and more on it. And it was just something fun we did together at the time. We didn't ever take it much of anywhere. And
did you ever consider publishing or even trying to publish it prior to that? Or is it just like, that didn't seem like it was like even a thing that you could do?
So back then, you know, my high school years and on into college, like the game industry hadn't taken off like it has today. Like you still had a lot of the game, and at least what I was aware of, was centered around, like you had the hobby market, or not the hobby market, the mass market stuff with like the Walmarts and Targets and games like that, the, you know, Monopoly and Sorry and things. And then like, from what I remember back in those days, it was like you had Magic the Gathering, like that was where most of the game world was. And I didn't think something like that would sell, honestly. Like we played I guess we played some old Avalon Hill games. So the Avalon Hill was around back then. And I thought, well, we could probably try to sell it to them. Who knows? I don't know if they would take it. It wasn't like their type of game. It didn't seem like their type of game at the time, to me at least. I had always intended, one of my thoughts growing up was that it would make a good video game. So I was thinking more along the lines of creating it and turning it into a video game. And then, kind of Settlers of Catan came out and kind of started this whole board game revolution craziness. And that's when my brother kind of took over and was like, hey, we can make this into a game that people would play. Like, people are playing board games now way more than they ever did before. I'm like, okay, sure, let's do it.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's kind of cool that, like, I mean, obviously, I mean, Kickstarter has become like a tool for publishers to use for extra advertising and things like that. But it is cool to see, like, things that are passion projects, like, actually, like, be, like, come to a fruition, if you will. So, and I'm sure that there was a great deal of satisfaction on your end or whatever to, like, like, to actually see it finally, like, created and made, after, like, the journey that it took. So
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like, even to this day, yeah, my brother and I did the first Kickstarter ourselves, entirely ourselves. And so we had a very small print run we had done after that. And just holding that first box in my hand when it came from the printer in China was like just this amazing experience. I was just like, oh my God, it's real. Here it is.
Well, cool. I mean, it's just and the game's awesome. I've extolled the virtues of the game and how amazing it is over and over again. And yes, Gator Dave, we are talking about Campaign Trail, just so you know. But yeah, I mean, it is extremely highly rated on the Board Game Geek. It is almost an 8, which is almost unheard of for most games. It is almost universally critically acclaimed. One of the few things that people had an issue with, which was like how the game just kind of ends or whatever, has the expansion actually changes that with some kind of like last like end of game alterations to like the changes to scores and what have you. And we Jeff and I and another person that we play games with, a guy named Roger, we played a 3-person game, and like at the very last thing, because of that, I was losing, but all of a sudden, boom, I won. At the very end, which was pretty glorious for me. So I mean, there's like, and that was like, and I say like that was, there isn't really any. I haven't seen anybody like anything negative about it at all. Like nothing like, oh, this game's broken, or oh, this is a boring mishmash of things. I mean, it's got everything that I like. Like multiple use cards, say like, and it's a card driven game. It's very much, it's weird. It's like it reminds me of other political games, obviously that exist out there, like 1960 Making of a President, or things like that. It reminds me of those, but this is because it isn't like directly thematic to a certain period or time, and because it's just about the process. It kind of stands on its own and stands apart from other political games. It isn't just a straight card game. That a lot of political games tend up being. There isn't like negotiation or anything like that goes on. It is just it is an area control game. It has teeth. It rewards like deep critical and strategic thinking. So like when you start planning ahead, like I need to travel to here and I need to use this card here and I need to do that card there, it rewards that type of planning. And I enjoy those games so much where it's like, oh, look, I actually was smart and I picked A, B, and C, and it actually did something really, really awesome. I'm able to grab California now and get all those delicious electoral votes out of California because I did something the other players weren't expecting, and it rewards that, and that's, I think, what people look for and stuff like that. But anyway, everybody knows I like the game. I'm trudging over old ground as it is, so. Yeah, I mean, and it wasn't until this campaign that I had heard about the fact that this is like your dad, like the origination goes, even deeper, and I think that's super cool, and that's pretty amazing. So there you go. Now I'll shut up for a little bit and stop talking so much. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, and there's nothing else like it. I mean, there isn't a game out there. Yes, there's other political games. Yes, there's like games about the making of the president and things like that. But it's just, this is its own entity.
The funny thing was, I had never played any of those games. Like the only political game I've ever played is this one, and people tell me it like reminds them of 1960, or there's another one called Campaign Manager, and like I still haven't played either of those games. And
yeah,
I'm like, well, thanks for the compliment.
That's weird that like you were not even inspired, because I mean, this is very much a card-driven game. Like people reference like card-driven war games and things like that, and it's weird that you don't have any background in those types of games. Like this is just you created this, as its entity, and yeah, I mean, there you go.
Yeah, it kind of came like it took us a long time because it was very slow development process, but yeah, it just kind of developed in our minds over time, independently of any other games that it's like, really.
Yeah, but there you go. Go ahead, Barry. You seem itching.
Jeff, can you make an area control hidden movement game involving Bigfoot and possums?
Bigfoot and possums. Possibly. I'll have to look into that.
Okay.
See what I can do with that.
So there you go. I mean, like Greg, yes, Greg, it's Jeff's game. We're talking about Campaign Trail. I'll ask you this. Jeff, do you have any grievances? I mean, we do an airing of grievances for things that are crazy that happen, that bother us. Peter had a wonderful interaction at the Cheesecake Factory that he told us about a few weeks back. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. They still haven't responded to your complaint.
Nope. Screw the Cheesecake Factory.
Fuck them.
Yes. But cool. But if you don't have any, I have one, and this is a doozy, and so this is going to take a little while, and this is where they say, "Of course it does," or "Big surprise," or "Hey, Glenn,
hey,
holy cow,
how's it going?"
I had Glenn Drover, the man, the myth, the legend behind Forbidden Games. What are you doing here? Just coming in and say hi? I appreciate it, man.
Popping in. I saw you guys were live, and you threw out the open invitation a couple weeks ago, so I thought I would avail myself of that invitation.
Well, thanks, Glenn. I appreciate it. How's Chicago?
Cold and kind of crappy these days.
Yeah.
Late fall.
Your Bears are not as good as their record. Just so you know.
They are.
Yeah,
they are.
Agreed.
But they are still 4 games ahead of the Vikings, though, right?
Oh, I mean, lose out at this point. There's no point in finishing 7-9, 6-10. Just so you can maybe save a incompetent GM and coach from
that's the worst when that happens.
Yeah, it's like, no, lose out, get an early draft pick, draft a quarterback, and hope you pick the right one, and let's just ship Kirk Cousins off to whatever we need to, wherever he needs to go. Trade him for a sack of footballs and $20.
You'd still be overvaluing him.
No, I mean, kudos to him for getting paid, right? I mean, just being a free agent in the perfect moment for himself, right? And being the best available of the free agent quarterbacks, and having a team that desperately needed one, so good for him. He got his money, I don't begrudge him for getting paid, but the experiment is over. The time has passed. Like I said, just see if we can get a few helmets, a sack of balls, and maybe somebody who'll swallow part of his contract from us and ship him off for a 6th round pick and just and be done. I don't know. There's got to be another old quarterback out there somewhere that can come in and
nope,
and
we got
fail.
him. We got the oldest quarterback out there.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Well, I thought the Lions were gonna put Stafford on the market here, but I guess that's not gonna happen. So
he's stuck there forever.
He makes too much money. No one wants to eat that contract.
No.
Yeah,
and that's the problem with Cousins. No one's going to take him unless until his contract's up because you guys way overpaid him.
Well, and we gave him an extension because we're dumb.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I'm a big...
This is a whole grievance unto itself.
Well, no. So this is how screwed. I mean, sorry about the sports ball talk, but I mean, and I say that, and knowing full well that saying the sports ball talk or whatever is like kind of I don't know. It's derogatory, but I mean, this isn't what we talk about. But one of the fundamental problems with football is that you can be completely and totally rewarded for tanking, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, baseball, it's like, who knows, right? It takes 2, 3, 5 years before somebody like gets good enough to like be called up and have an impact. So it's like, that's total luck box. The NBA, well, they throw your name in a hat and shuffle it around, who knows? But football, yeah, just if there's somebody out there that's the bona fide number 1 pick, that has a cannon for an arm and can run like the wind and could be your franchise quarterback for the next 15 years, just go out there and lose every game because there's no reason for you to try, none whatsoever.
But even then, you can pick Mitch Trubisky instead of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean,
no,
there is
burn, sick burn.
Hurts. That hurts.
That does hurt.
I mean, no, it's one of those things where it doesn't. Finishing, like making the first round of the playoffs and losing like time in and time out. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help you at all. I mean, it's like if you're a team that's on the cusp and like trying to get to that point, fine. Yes, there's like maybe it can help you a little tiny bit, right? Like, and that's like something that you can go for. But like, let's just be completely fair. It's like if you're not losing big, you're losing big, like for the season, you're losing big overall. I mean, right, because
you're losing forever.
Yeah. And it's just
like the Jets. I mean, they've lost big. They've lost big for like the last 6 years, and they're not getting any better with all those high round draft picks. It's a crapshoot. It's still a crapshoot.
Well, and that's just front office, right? I mean, it's like you can find people that are. The problem is that like there's lots of picks that aren't like, for lack of a better term, sexy, but they're good picks. Like if you pick like an offensive tackle that will protect like the left side for 10 years and it, and they're always going to be good, then that's a good pick. It isn't sexy. Nobody gets excited about that. And the thing is that, I mean, you need a quarterback. You need the guy. You need somebody who's really, really good. Yes, you can point to things like Trent Dilfer and Brad Johnson winning Super Bowls because they had defenses that basically crushed and destroyed, and they were just basically ball managers. They just go out there, don't hurt yourself, and just take care of the ball. That's all you have to do, but that's not normally the case, right? You need somebody that can go out and win, and that's right. There's a reason why like people every year are scrambling to find a better quarterback, and then there's those coveted teams that are just like, it's like, oh my god, we actually have a good one. Just like whatever you do, it's like you want to imagine him like being carried everywhere he goes, making sure he doesn't stub his toe or slip on the wet grass or something.
What's that like to have a good quarterback? I don't think that's ever happened here.
I mean,
I'll tell you, it's great. This is the first time I've experienced it in 40 years. It's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to go back to like the last time we had like that didn't implode after a couple of years.
Cunningham?
No, I mean like you'd have to go to like we thought Culpepper was going to be the guy for a while, but then he just imploded. I mean, he just and then after that we just started shopping any old guy who can throw the ball.
Yeah, it's got to be Tarkenton.
Yeah, I mean honestly, you go back, the Tarkenton's probably the guy, right? I mean, It's like you got people like we had like Wade Wilson, rest in peace, Tommy Kramer.
Hey, at least you've had one. As a Bucks fan, back all the way back to like 77, we've never had one ever. Period. Like maybe Doug Williams for like a year and a half, 2 years, and then he was gone. It's like every time we get one, they're here for a year or two, then they go win a Super Bowl somewhere else. We've never had like the guy in the league, like the premier guy in the league. So
we've had like we've got Stafford now, and and he's decent. He's top half, but I wouldn't necessarily call him the guy either.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's like
serviceable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But other than that, the Lions have never had anybody. Never.
No. Yeah, I'd rather any team without a quarterback rather than the Lions. I don't know how you guys have gone that long without having a good team.
That surprises me too.
I remember after you guys had the winless season, I saw a picture of the guy who went to the NFL pro shops and like how you can pick any number and any name you want. And the guy picked number 16 and last name Owen. And it was just like Owen 16. I was just like, genius. I would wear that with pride everywhere I went. Owen 16. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's just like, and yet you still get the Thanksgiving game every year.
Tradition.
Yes.
That's just crazy to me.
This year you're going to see the Cowboys, who don't deserve to be on Thanksgiving this year. It's a train wreck. They just traded away 3 of their players today, so they're just bailing. They're jumping ship as quick as possible. It's going to be ugly Thanksgiving football this year.
Well, you got the Red Rifle though. So
he's out.
Oh, he's out now?
He got knocked out with a concussion. He's not playing for like the next 2 weeks or so. They've got their 3rd string bench guy. I forget what his name is. I've never heard of him before. He's starting this week. Andy Dalton got knocked out with a concussion last week. Late.
Good gravy. I had no idea.
Yeah. This guy gets a concussion. They're giving him 2 weeks.
You didn't see the hit. He like almost damn near broke his neck. He was sliding and the guy dove head first.
Oh, that's even worse.
Knocked his helmet off. Yeah. Yeah. So he may not be around for a while.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's just crazy. Yeah.
So did I miss the grievances?
No. I was getting ready, and then.
If you've got one, you better go first because Lance is going to be a while. I have a small one, but I can go after you if you want.
Yeah, I got a small.
No, I'll let you. Go ahead. You can. I'll wait my turn. That's
all right,
fine.
Barry. Well, go ahead. You go first, then Frank, then me. Jeff, do you have one too, or?
I might have a small one.
All right. Well, we'll hit that order, and then Lance can go last since his will be.
All right.
Go ahead, Barry.
Like I said before we go on air, I went in the shop, and this was the first time in about a month and a half, other than some cleaning stuff. So I got to go to war with these fucking tree spiders again, and this is my grievance every fucking year. The change of the weather, they're all over the place in there. I got like cobwebs holding up walls and shit. They're so it's horrible. That's my grievance.
That was a short one.
Actually, it's just you just got bugs. That's your grievance.
He's got spiders.
I don't like spiders to begin with. Any spider, but them, yeah.
They're just spiders. And what are they gonna do?
They don't bother. They don't like scare me or nothing. I just don't like them. They're creepy. They don't look right to me. Too many eyes, too many legs. It's not like I'm scared of them. They just bother me.
Sounds to me like you're scared of them.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. It's not like if they crawl on me, I'm gonna freak out. It's just they bother me.
It's spiders
so-
freak out a lot of people.
I spend a lot of time in the woods. Not much bothered. Scares me.
So in this room that I have green screen behind me, this used to be like the family room where we'd watch TV and stuff like that. I still to this day I remind my wife of the night, like she was like I was sitting on my computer, which has always been over here, and she was like watching something on TV, and all of a sudden she leapt out of the chair she was in. She was like on like the big easy chair, and like because we had just moved in the house, and so of course like you're in the spot where there was no houses where we lived at all. It was like basically big giant farm fields, and like a spider had crawled over her hand, and like she just leapt up. She jumped up, she moved over to the couch, and she was talking about the spider, and then she was sitting on the couch watching the same show, and then all of a sudden 10-15 minutes later, freaked out because another spider crawled over her hand. Like the guy had like, hey, what's going on over here, right? We had a couple computers set up, and so she sat down at the other computer and sat in the other computer chair, and it was like about 3 feet behind me, and I was just like, okay, I gotta. And I just like slowly reached back and just like tickled like
That's fucked up, man.
We laugh about it now.
That is so fucked up.
At the time, I thought I was gonna be sleeping in the front seat of my car that night. Just like when I peeled her off the ceiling, we had a good laugh. But at the time, though, yeah, she is not. I still to this day, one of the toughest people in the world I know is my wife. But I still will be down here. It's like, there's a spider, come get it. It's like, I mean, they are creepy looking, but then I always just grab it and I hold it in my hand, and then just to freak everybody out. I just go throw it outside. Just like spiders are good for your house. They're good for your house. They kill predators. And,
they're good for the soil and everything else. It's just they bother me in the house. It's the distraction. It's movement and shit like that. These ones got real big fangs. Like thick fangs, they got them pincher fang things.
They can't puncture your skin.
I know, but the cats, it's a mess. Yeah, the only animal I'm really afraid of that I really experienced is that and snakes. I had a couple run-ins with rattlers. Them I'm scared of. I've seen how fast they fucking move.
They're more scared of you. They're more scared of you than you are of them.
Yeah, I know that. But, you walk up on them, you don't know if you're backing them in the corner. They're going to strike you to defend yourself, and they're fucking quick.
You just got to be quicker.
I'm not. Even back then, I wasn't.
Oh. Hey, Grant.
Hey, everybody. Good to see you.
Could you go put your the bill of your hat through the steam press again? I don't think it's sharp enough. I don't think
everybody's really coming in my hat tonight. The comment section is blowing up. What's wrong, dude? If you leave the sticker on, I'm hip.
Yeah,
man. I'm one of those hip kids.
Okay, well, no.
Yeah,
sure.
Look, everybody like this is Midwest. This is that's California right there. That's the difference. That's the only difference between the two.
Yeah.
So.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. If you say so. All right. Who was up next on their grievances? Grant, we're doing grievances.
Glenn.
If you have a grievance. Glenn, what's your grievance, Glenn? Hey, non-political.
I've got no grievances. I love everyone.
Oh.
Okay. Then Jeff.
A spider story though.
What was that, Glenn? I didn't hear you.
What was the last bit there, Glenn?
I've got a spider story though.
Oh, spider story. Tell us.
So you guys are talking about spiders and Barry just doesn't like fangs and stuff. We lived in Minneapolis for a year, and my wife, we lived like across the street from a lake, and there was a giant forest behind the house. So every morning our entire back patio was covered in webs and spiders, and I had to go out there and sweep all the webs away or my wife wouldn't go outside. And just function of where we were living. But my wife after a few weeks was like, how the did we get stuck living in Spiderheim? And so the house became known forever as Spiderheim.
Ooh, I like that though. That's
Yeah.
It's like we will trek the halls of Spiderheim to find the.
We only ended up staying for about 10 months and then bugged out just because winters are ridiculously long, even worse than here. So we left and came back to Chicago. But we lived in Spiderheim for 10 months and had one run-in with a spider in the garage where we pulled the car in and we got out. And this thing, literally, you talk about fangs, this thing was like hissing at us as...
No, it wasn't hissing at you. That's ridiculous.
Dude, it was insane. Never seen anything like it. We approached the web, it reared up on its hind legs and started hissing at us. It was the scariest thing I've ever seen in life.
But it's like a little known thing when spiders hiss, it's because they want to be your friend.
It's like hey,
he was rearing up to hug you. Come
It's
on.
like a cat's meow.
Spiders in the least. This thing freaked me out. It was insane how this thing was like basically like, come at me, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool, though. I have to be honest. I've never heard one hiss myself. It's like one of those things.
I believe I have on like Discovery Channel. I'm serious.
He's actually a Minnesotan.
I don't think insects can make noise. Maybe am I weird with that?
You never heard a cricket?
Yeah.
Hey, Barry, touche.
Maybe it was in my
Lance
brain.
has a new grievance now.
Yeah. You know what I mean, though. You know what I mean. It's just like I don't see them like I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know.
It was probably just in my brain. This thing like. It was like one of those ugly spiders, not like a cute daddy long legs or like a little tiny thing. This was like one of those giant ass spiders that looks like Shelob.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you've seen Lord of the Rings. Shelob hisses all the time.
Yeah, that thing was ugly and like basically looking at us like I will fuck you up. So maybe it was in my brain.
Maybe.
Anyway,
the Mandela effect or whatever. Like you think you assume it's going to be something, but it actually is something else or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
Could be.
Go ahead, Jeff. You're up.
All right. Let's see. My grievance. So a little bit of background. So the company I work for is a software company, like 250 people, pretty small company outside of Philadelphia here. And I happen to work a Tuesday through Saturday shift. So my weekend is like a Sunday to Monday. So my grievance is around that because this Monday, the CEO of the company calls this all hands company meeting to announce that the company has been sold to a larger company. And so I just spend all day on my day off listening to briefings about like how we got sold and what all the changes are going to be and all this stuff. So yeah, I was a little upset about that, but it's all going to work out in the end. But I get to keep
that sucks.
job,
I mean, all that uncertainty, that's got to be horrible.
Yeah, well, I don't think anything's much going to change for me personally in my role. I mean, no one's getting laid off as far as I know. So in the end, yeah, like I said, in the end, it was okay. But yeah, I was like, what the hell? This is like supposed to be my day off, and I have to deal with all this crap. And yeah,
that's understandable. That'd be a pisser.
Yeah.
All right. So are you ready for story time?
No, not yet. You still have me and Grant.
Oh, dang it. Okay.
So mine won't be too long. So I've been anticipating a highly rated new video game that was supposed to be coming out this November called Cyberpunk 2077. And it just recently got delayed back to December, which is no big deal for me because it's only like 3 weeks. But
didn't you post this on Facebook today?
No, I don't think so. Maybe I don't know. Maybe
it was someone else. That's weird that someone else was talking about this.
Well, this game is really highly anticipated. It's been in development for like 8 years. It's supposed to be. They were saying it was going to be Game of the Year, but now that it's coming out so late in the year, it's going to be on next year's award show. But what really aggravates me is that there was a post today by one of the devs saying that because of the delay, there were so many angry fans that they actually started receiving death threats.
Oh, I did see that. Oh,
which game is this?
Cyberpunk 2077. The devs promised that it had been delayed 3 times already. So it was supposed to come out in April. They pushed it back to September. They realized they weren't going to make September, so then they pushed it back to November. And then they said it went gold. And they said we're not shifting. It's going to be out in November. And then literally like 3 days later, pushed it back to December. Don't know what the reason. It definitely was a snafu. They shouldn't have promised what they promised, but whatever. Regardless of the fact, fans were getting irritated and upset. But if you are that upset about a video game being pushed back 3 weeks, that you're willing to go out and threaten the developer's family, the developer himself, that you're going to stalk him down and put him on fire, then you really need to take a hard look at your life and reevaluate, because they shared a few of the messages the developers were getting on social media, blocking out the names, of course, and are having to call the police and investigate, because people are literally saying, if you don't release this game on November, we're going to find you and your family. You will pay for this. I will hunt you down. It's like, it's really scary shit. So my grievance is just people chill the fuck out. Like, it's a video game. You'll get over it. It's 3 weeks. Just calm the fuck down.
Well, them video game people are very, very nasty.
I thought Kickstarter backers were bad. This is a whole nother level. And
no kidding.
Especially if you're a female, they're extremely nasty.
I'm like excited about this game. It's gonna help me get through, the holidays, give me stuff to do. Everyone's looking for more stuff to do. This is a whole nother level of like, what the fuck. So
I mean, does it really surprise you though? People are crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, but you would like to think that.
Yeah.
It's not like they said, "Oh, it's coming out next year, guys." Sorry, it's
people.
3 weeks.
People give death threats because they forgot their fries at McDonald's.
I guess I don't know. It's a little loony for me, but that's my grievance. People chill the f out. Your stuff will get there when it gets there. At least it'll be a better quality product when you get it now, instead of rushing it out way ahead of time. So that's it for me.
Yeah, video game fans are nuts. I mean, that's my industry. I started there in 1990, and dealing with those fans, like you said, makes dealing with board game fans really easy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's exponentially more people, right? So
yeah, like 10 times or 100 times maybe even. It's
and young teenagers like.
Don't care who toss out a death threat like 27 times a day. It's like, and don't even consider it to be like, even like, and when somebody says, "Oh, we took it serious," it's like, how could you possibly take that seriously? I've been threatening people with death, and every all day long. Just like, you can't take me seriously. Just you're ridiculous.
Grant, you're up. Oh, hi, Cassandra.
Hello, how are you?
Cassandra. All right, I'm waiting. Grant, do you have a grievance? Do you want to?
Oh, sure. I'll throw out a quick one.
You can't find anybody to bend your hat.
Nope. Look, I got a whole wall of hats over here, and not one of them has a bend in it. So
that's unfortunate.
Is that the grievance?
And then a lot of what people do is then you tuck your ears up in the hat.
What?
I'm not joking. That's a real thing.
Well, I know, like, if you ever like, I mean, you have to go back in time now to see it, because he doesn't really show up for much anymore. But Hulk Hogan, whenever he would come out and he'd have the bandana on, he would have it cover the tops of his ears, like so. And then if you look to where he actually put when he wore his sunglasses, when he was Hollywood Hogan, like, they wouldn't go on his ears. They go up here, like on either side. Like, go and check it out. Like, watch the old NWO in the 90s. It was like weird the way he wore them. But anyway, moving on.
Non-grievance. Do you know that Hulk Hogan released a singing album?
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah. Here's one of the most amazing things ever.
Well, here's okay. Little known fact, Hulk Hogan is actually a really good guitarist. I mean, he might not be now, but I mean, he was in like several bands in Florida, and actually was like, he was at a point in his life. He basically, in Florida, he was in like several bands playing bass guitar and singing. and then during the day he would go and he'd work out on the beach, and that was his life. And so, and then at some point somebody said, you're huge. You make a really good professional wrestler. And he went and he tried doing it and he liked it. And then he basically he had to make a decision, like, because he was also really, really good at playing bass guitar, and he had a good look for the time of the era, and there were several bands that were going to like try to make it big, and he had to make a decision: do I want to try to be a rock star, or do I want to be a professional wrestler? And obviously he chose to be a wrestler. But I mean so him having an album isn't crazy. I mean, he like
it's real bad. If you
well, no, I'm sure it's horrible.
Maniac.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's but I mean, strange thing, Jimmy Hart, the Mouth of the South. Like, if you Google Jimmy Hart, he's a songwriter, but he also in the 50s was, I forget the name of the band or that he was a part of, but they had a string of big hits. Like he was a thing in the 50s. Like, I mean, he made a little money, made a little name for himself, but obviously, he's like whatever, he's like in his 70s and his hair is still jet black. So he's also got the fountain of youth.
It happens.
It happens. It totally happens. It's not faked at all.
All right. So my grievance is, I travel a lot for my job, and then I stopped with the pandemic, and I flew last week for the first time. And it is the first time in my life I got on an airplane and I could smell it being clean, which makes me think, were we just flying around in dirt cans before the
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
They did like all of a sudden when you get on a plane now and you're like, wow, this is really clean. And before I'm like, man, this must have just been so gross. And now they can never put it back in the can and again, because now we know that you are capable of cleaning it like this. So if I ever get on a plane that doesn't actively smell clean, I'm gonna be mad.
Oh, good luck with that.
It's
cost effective now. Wait till this is over with. Then they're going right back to where they were.
that has actually been one of my complaints about this whole pandemic thing. Like, everybody's all advertising how they clean stuff more. Like, wait, you weren't cleaning before?
Yeah.
What the hell is that about?
I was at work for the last 2 weeks before this, and we had to stop work every hour to wash your hands. Do you know how annoying it is to wash your hands every hour when you are 30 feet in the air? You have to climb down, and everyone has to do it at the same time. If you're in the middle of a task, you have to stop everything, and it's like, because we're uber clean. And I'm like, God, please just don't let me need to be uber clean anymore. I just want to wash my hands every 2 hours when I have a 15-minute break. How is that not good enough? But no, every hour, and it's mandated by the county, so it's not even like I can be like, I won't do it. It's like, no, I have to do this. Annoying, and I'm going to be really excited when I no longer have to wash my hands every hour.
Just take a bucket.
Maybe you should wash your hands every hour.
Take a bucket and soap with you up.
I will say they were the cleanest they've ever been. Normally, like, we do
what are you doing to your poor hands, Cassandra?
Well, we're touching metal all day for the most part. So they end up, like, after 2 hours, especially if you're, like, handling weight, that stuff's gross. You wash your hands in black. You fill the sink with black, and you have to wash them twice because they're gross. But, I mean, if I'm doing weight for 2 hours, I have to come down and wash them and then go back up. My hands were so dry. I was like, because they're still not giving you good soap. So now I'm having to bring lotion and lotion them. Well, now they're sweaty and like, lotion doesn't, I do not like the feeling of lotioned hands that much, especially when I'm holding a 50-pound brick 30, 50 feet above the air. Like, I'm not a fan of that. It was a lot, and I did not appreciate it.
They won't let you bypass that with like nitro gloves or something?
They might, but then I don't know if I would ever feel comfortable doing weight with gloves on.
Nah, if you get the right kind of gloves, you'll be all right with gloves. I used to do it on the trains. It's
Yeah,
I
but
would.
you're also probably quite a bit stronger than me. Like when I
Well,
throw,
let's not be hasty.
It's all yeah.
but
I don't know
just,
about now, but then probably. But
like
it's all hand strength, though. I mean, it's not like it would be
it's
up in my
upper body strength because it's going in front of you. Like
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the gloves won't interfere with that as long as you got a grip on them. Yeah.
That's true, but it's definitely one of those things that I do it, and you can definitely tell when I've done weight all day because I come down and my arms are like jello. They're shaking.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
get
like,
that. I used to do a lot of
ooh.
overhead stuff. Yeah, I get that. But like I said, the gloves won't interfere with that. Then you won't burn your legs out going up and down a ladder all day.
That's true. But then they have to buy gloves, and they would prefer just to buy soap because it's 99 cents for a little thing of soap. And
Tell them to go to Harbor Freight. Bring your own gloves. That way you don't even have to deal with them. Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, I love Harbor Freight.
Yeah, go to Harbor Freight. Get the 7 or 9 mil. Don't get the cheap ones. They're shit. Yeah.
Harbor Freight is like where all the cheap mechanics go.
Yeah. They're good for some. If you're not using stuff every day, they're fine.
Get
You
some
know.
C wrenches from them.
Yeah, I love Harbor Freight.
Yeah. If you're a professional mechanic or something, I wouldn't go there.
Why? Their stuff works.
For a time, a short time. Yeah. If you're using stuff every day, it's a different game. It's that's why people buy the high end brands because.
What do you know?
I know a lot about this. I've actually used tools.
You're saying I don't use tools?
Not like I have.
Oh, really? I mean, I did you use a tool to avoid getting hit by a train?
Yes, I actually did. I had a
Next
tool
week
on
on the episode, we have a tool off. Lance brings tools. Barry brings tools. Who can use their tools better?
Yeah, well. I'm going to just not. You know what? Never mind. We'll just moving on.
Cassandra, you got a grievance?
No, I'm pretty.
That was a grievance.
Oh, that's right.
That was a grievance.
All right.
Got another
one? This is another.
To put this off.
No, this is they're like, yeah, this is where Pete's gonna ask you something and then disconnect or something.
No, I'm actually gonna mute and go get a drink, so you're safe for right now.
All right, so I'm just waiting to see if he vanished. No, he didn't. All right, so okay, this is another chapter of things that only seem to happen to me, kind of thing. But I'm sure these happen to other people, but I don't ever hear about them. So the other day,
no one else cares as much as you.
What's in your mug tonight, Cassandra?
If you read the chat, you would know that because I've had extensive conversations.
Well, I don't look at the chat. I have the chat up, but I mean, it's I appreciate each and every one of you in the chat. It's awesome that you're here. So I regularly, obviously, get packages delivered to me, and the different carriers, whether they are FedEx or UPS or Postal Service or even the occasional DHL. They don't bother even ringing the doorbell. They don't do anything. They know that my dogs go absolutely insane if they ring the doorbell. So they just come up and and I even have we have a chair and a table that's just there. So if there's wet ground, there's a place. And if it snows, I clean those off so that they have a place to put packages. I don't have to worry about them getting wet. So anyway, and like when I walk up the stairs behind me, if this wasn't a green screen, when I walk up the stairs behind me, I come up and I can see through the window next to the door. And it looks right out, and I can see both the table and the chair. And sometimes they'll leave the stuff sitting right on the steps too. And I walk up, and there's a box. There's a package there. Now, I mean, I wasn't expecting something, but that's not completely untoward. It's definitely stuff's just showing up randomly for me. And I come up, and there's like it's a fairly large box. It isn't huge by any means. It's probably like a foot wide, maybe 2.5 or maybe 3 feet deep, and probably like maybe like a 12 by 12 by 24. Let's just go that way. And I was like, okay, that's kind of a weird box. So I open up the door, and I before picking it up, I just kind of glance at the top, see if it's for me or my wife, because my wife orders stuff too, and it's for me. And the thing on the top says Lightning Source. Now, Lightning Source is a place that they do print on demand books. So a lot of times, like I'll get RPG stuff sent to me, and it's like it goes through Lightning Source. And I was like, that's really weird. Most of my Lightning Source stuff comes, and it's like just like a thin little box, like it'll be like only like this, big. And I was like, that's a really big box from Lightning Source. So I pick it up, and the thing's freaking heavy. It's like it's got some heft to it. I'm like, well, this is really weird. What the heck is this? So I bring it upstairs, and it says Lance Meister, my address, the whole thing. And I get up to the top, and I grab a knife, cut the tape, pull it up, and open the thing up. And it is, I haven't counted, but I'm guessing it's about I'm guessing it's like around 60, maybe 70 copies of a book. And the book is, the name of the book is, Would You Teach a Fish How to Climb a Tree? And I was like looking at this, and it's like, it's a guidebook written by 3 different people about, do you have a child with ADD, ADHD, autism, things like that. It's like teaching children like how to like how you go about like. And I was like, well, this is weird. Why did I get this? And I was looking at this kind of oddly. Hey, Tom, I love the shaggy hair, man. You're looking nice there. Like,
now I just haven't got a haircut. I hate it.
No, I like it. It's like you're gonna be like going to a shindig or like a rockin' 50s party or something.
No, I like my military cuts.
So anyway, so I opened this thing, and it's like all these. And I'm like, what the heck? What is this? And I'm like looking around, and I'm trying to think anything of like why I would have gotten this book, because I didn't order this and things like that. And so I'm looking at this, and I do a quick like Google search on the book, and the book's like not cheap. It's like $15 or whatever. It's like you can get it on a Kindle for 10, but like a printed copy is like 15 or 20 bucks. So it's like it's a ton of these copies. And I was like, well, this has got to be for somebody else, and they just put the wrong sticker on it. Okay, this is something I can fix. Whatever. I got something I got to do. I'll look up the number for Lightning Source, and I'll call them, and I'll let them know. So about an hour later, pick up my phone. I look up Lightning Source on the internet, get a contact number. I call the number. And the first thing it says, it's like, thank you for calling Lightning Source. If you are, it's like, if you know the name of your party, it's like input their extension now. Otherwise, please hold for the operator. I'm like, all right, I'll hold for the operator. And after like 5 seconds, it hung up on me. And I was like, all right, well, something weird happened there. And I call it back, same thing, hold. And I was like, okay, I'll hold. And then it's just like, and then it was like, and then I got to somebody. And it was just like one of those, it must be like a switchboard person. It was like really quick, just like, thank you for calling Lightning Source. How can we help you? And it's like, I just said, I don't know. I need to go to somebody that handles this problem. Explain the issue. I got a big giant box with all these books that I didn't order. One moment, please. And then they send me off to somebody. So like, and it's just like, we were experiencing long call times. I was like, that's fine. I just put the earphones in and started working. And so I waited a little bit, and eventually I got to somebody. And they're like, how can I help you? And I was just like, oh, okay, well, here's the deal. A box just showed up at my house. It's got 60 copies or so of this book that I did not order. I don't want this at all. I don't know why it was delivered to me. I was just thinking, do you know where this is supposed to go? Can you is it something where you could send somebody to my house to pick it up? You could send like UPS to come and pick it up and bring it back to you or whatever. And cause this is not me. And they're like, oh, well, what's your account number? And I said, I don't have an account with you. This just got delivered to me. I don't know what this is. Oh, well, what's your purchasing number? I was like, no, I didn't buy this. I said, it just showed up at my door. And they're like, well, what's your address? And then I give them my address. And they're like, well, I see we've made deliveries to your house before. I was like, yes, it's because I've purchased things like that have print on demand, and then you deliver them to me. But I didn't buy this. So okay. Well, what's your agent name? And I was like, okay, you're not listening to me. I don't have any of those things. I didn't order this. You guys sent it to me by accident. I just figured you'd want it back because I'm assuming that these books cost money for you to make, and somebody else probably paid you money for them, and they're gonna want them. So can I? And they're like, oh, well, hold on, I'll get you to somebody that can help you. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. So I wait and I wait and I wait and I wait, and then I get to somebody, and then they're like, so the answer's like, how can I help you? And I was like, so I explained the problem to this second person, and they're like, yeah, I don't handle this. And I was like, well. Okay, well, I got sent to you though. So can you? Yes, I was like, can you send me to somebody that does handle this? And they were like, yeah, we'll send that to you. And I was like, all right, cool. So then I go and I'm on hold for a long time again, and I get to somebody else, and they're just like, hi, blah, blah, blah. Can I start with your account number? And I was like, I don't have an account. I was like, well, why are you talking to me then? I was like, well, let me explain the situation to you. And this is like 20 minutes into this whole ordeal, and I was just like, I explained the whole thing again. You sent me these books. I didn't order them. I'm looking for some way to get these to you, or if you can tell me, because if it's like somebody nearby, I'd be willing to just drive them. If they're going to a school that's near me, I would deliver them there. I would somehow these got sent to me. I'm guessing though that they're going someplace way far away. So you're gonna need to have send me I was like, I'll even give me a shipping label. I'll stick it on the box. I'll drop it off for you. It's no big deal. I'll take care of it. And they're like, well, what's your purchasing number? I was like, you're not listening to me. I was just like, and then so I was like, I've already explained this 4 times now. I
imagine internally in the company, everybody's just freaking out the whole, everybody's talking to everybody else. Like, well, what's his purchasing number? He doesn't have, what do we do? He doesn't have a purchasing number. Well, does he have an account number?
4 people in an office.
Well, and the thing that's driving me crazy is I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm trying to let you know that you made a mistake, and I'm trying to get this to you. And so they're just like, well, let me put you on hold. So I sit on hold for a while. The same person thankfully comes back. They didn't just transfer me off to somewhere. And they're like, well, can you read off the stuff that's on the label? And I was like, sure, here. And I read off the entire thing. And they're like, no, you didn't read all of it to me. I assure you, I said I did. That's all the stuff.
Do you know how to read?
Okay. And then they're just like, no. There should be a number that starts with a 0, and then there'll be a letter after that, and then there'll be 5 more numbers, and then there'll be this. And I was like, that's not on the label. It's on the label, sir. You need to look at it. I was like, I said I would be happy to take a picture of this and send it to you. I mean, it's but it's not on there. I was like, at this point, I have nothing to gain from being less than honest with you. I just somebody wanted these books. I want them to get their books. And they're just like, can you hold, please? I was like, fine. So I hold again. So after 2 minutes of holding, I get to another brand new person. I was just like, and they're like, hi, how can I help you? I was like, yeah, explain the situation. Sure. Can you give me your account number? I was like, I'm going to just stop you right here. I said, I don't have an account with you. I don't have a purchase number. I don't have an invoice. I don't have anything. These things got dropped off at my house today, delivered to me. Here's the tracking number. Here's all the information I have. I don't have this. And they're like, okay, this is really weird. This shouldn't have happened. I was like, I agree. I said, I just want to return.
Normal thing you said.
I want to just get this stuff back to you. I don't want it. It's otherwise I'm just going to I said, I'm just going to get rid of it. And somebody paid good money for this, and I wanted to return. So then they're just like, okay, well, so then they're like, okay, well, let me look into this. And they're like, okay, well, we can't figure out why this got delivered to you, but I do see we've delivered a lot of things to you. Why don't you have an account number with us? And I was like, it doesn't even matter. I was like, I order things from companies that do print on demand, and they employ you to make those things and send them to me. It's like, I don't have it. Well, what companies are there? I was like, it doesn't matter.
It was all just a ruse to get you to get an account. That's all.
They're wearing you down.
It doesn't matter. I was like, it doesn't freaking matter. When I was like,
you will give them the account number, damn it.
And then they said,
their marketing ploy. Instead of just sending out little mailers, they just send boxes.
Boxes of books. Yes.
So I'm sitting there, and I was just like, and I said, it doesn't matter. I was like, it doesn't matter. I was like, well, maybe that company ordered the wrong book for you. I was like, look, the one company it's drive-through role-play games. There's no way on earth they're sending me a book on how to raise a child with ADD. That's not in their library. It doesn't exist. And they're like, well, what's that website again? I was like, Drive-through RPG. Go ahead. Well, hold on a second. I'm going to see if they have that book. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I was like, that's fine. Whatever. I'll wait. So like 4 minutes later, yeah, you're right. They don't sell that book. So I'm just like, okay. But I was like, so please, I said, can you just send me a ship? Oh, like, we don't know why this got delivered to you. We don't even have an order for this. I was like, great, fine. I don't care. I was like, do you print this book? Yeah, we print this book. Okay. Do you want these back? She said, yeah, we'll take them back. I was like, great. Can you send me a shipping label? I will put it on the box. I'll even drive it to the UPS post office, wherever you want me to take. Oh, you can just take it to the post office. That works for us. I was like, great. Fine.
Sure, we can do that. What's your account number?
I was like, no. Here's the last thing. I was like, great, fine. I was like, go ahead and just send me the shipping label. I will put it on the outside. I will put it in the mail and I'll drop it off today. No big deal. They're like, great. And it's like, can we get your email address? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to send you the invoice first. You're going to need to pay the shipping and then we'll take it back. I was like, what? Yeah. Well, it's like for shipments that have been made in error, you have to pay for the return shipping. Goodbye. And I was out. I was just like,
no. So now you've been learning a lot about children with ADD.
Nearly an hour on the phone.
I suspect the company that makes that book will be calling you soon.
An hour.
I was just like, you got to be kidding me. I was just like, yeah, nearly an hour on the phone. Just like, I finally just reached.
I'd send them an invoice.
I just picture like 4 people in this little tiny office. Like, the first one puts you on hold. The next one, like, okay, ask him his account number. Ask him this. It's gonna be hilarious. And then they just pass you around, cracking up the whole time.
Maybe, and I would doff my cap to them for their genius.
Because what are you to pay for return shipping?
Because they're just like,
has to be a joke.
Yeah, no. It was just like that's. I mean, I was like, this. It's like, oh yeah, but we have a policy for like for books that need to be returned. You will need you'll need to pay for the shipping.
Yeah, if I bought it in error, you dumb.
I was just like, I'm out. I'm done. So, and that was that.
It took you an hour to come to that conclusion? I would have been done in 15 minutes. Max. I've been on the internet looking for a special needs school and where to go to it.
Those books, I would have spent the 5 minutes to take those books to Goodwill and been done with it.
So what are you going to do with the books now, Lance?
I don't know. I mean, I could probably just drive them over to like my kid's school, and I'm sure they'd take them somewhere and put them somewhere. I mean, yeah. Somebody, Jonathan in the chat said they recorded it to play back at parties and laugh. Hey, look at this guy. We sent him all these books, just hoping he'd call back. Yeah, I don't know, but that was I was just at wit's end at the end. So, all right. Well, now we can actually talk about games if you want. Tommy V, you play anything new, cool, or awesome lately?
I played Dune Imperium.
Yeah. Deck building, worker placement.
It is. It's made by the same people who made Clank.
Yeah.
So, I think the embargo date's over for that, right?
Really?
You better hope so.
Well, no, we played it live on our channel. I don't know if we're allowed to.
That would be
28. That's today. Yeah, I love it. In fact, I'll go so far to say it's a better Dune game than Dune is.
Well, now you're just saying stuff you're just trying to have box material there on that one.
I don't think they would actually stick that on the box because have you ever seen a company stick a quote that mocked another, like said their game was better than another?
No, No. Maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like I have.
Yes, I have.
I'm sure it's been
in mass
done,
market games, right?
Oh, besides the guy who says the replacement for Monopoly. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, I've only seen it in
like
mass market, not in hobby.
I feel like there's a ton of Cards Against Humanity knockoffs that are like better than Cards Against Humanity, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
There's a ton of those.
It could be, yeah.
I think it's one of the best games I played this year.
Really?
Well, la dee da.
You asked me if I. Okay, never mind. I played nothing, and everything I played was crap.
like he's an expert on games.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just because you play a bunch of stuff doesn't make you an expert. Though I would say that I would lend credence to Tom's opinion more often than not.
Well, Rodney Smith also liked it. That's a double.
Who's Rodney?
He's this guy who never reviews games, but he said it was good.
So, I mean, are they going to Kickstarter with that, or is that actually being released?
No, it's pre-order. I think they're just selling straight. I think they're doing direct sales, but also working with retailers. That's from what I can tell.
Well, it's Lucky Duck, isn't it?
No, it's White Wolf. No, not White Wolf. The company that made Clank.
It's listed.
Well, Clank is Renegade, though.
Yeah, Clank's Renegade.
No,
it's
Clank.
Their partner,
Clank,
Direwolf Digital.
Clank was a partnership from Renegade with Direwolf, but it's actually a Direwolf game.
Direwolf, okay.
Oh, well, okay.
Just like the Paladins of the West Kingdom and all those games are not technically Renegade games; they're Garfo games, but Renegade.
They're just distributing them in the U.S. or something.
Yeah, well, they're also co-branding them, but.
All right, so why is it awesome? Why is it so great?
I just think it brings some strong theme to it. Mixes deck building and worker placement and has direct conflict, and the combo just works really well.
Why does
also,
that
it doesn't take 6 hours?
See, I missed the long games.
Yeah, but here's the problem with Dune, Lance, is that it wasn't 6 hours.
It's just too awesome to be contained on one table.
Oh, yeah, okay. Dune is actually a 1 to 6 hour game. That's really hard to plan for because it could end really early or it could last really long. It also only works well with 5 or 6.
Well, lucky for me, I have tons of friends.
Yeah, right.
Oh, my secret shame. No, I mean, those are strong words, Pilgrim, for you to say it's better than Dune, because Dune is like.
Oh, I'm sure that the
top 10.
The old people will come out of the woodwork to shoot me down for that one. But what do you do?
How dare you? Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, well, I'll check it out, even if it has deck building in it.
Why do you dislike that so much?
He doesn't.
He's a hipster.
I could point you to 30 of his videos over the last 5 years where he says, well, I don't like deck builders, but this
one,
okay.
yeah.
And that's the 30th time this freaking year he said that.
Fake
and
news.
Dune Imperium will be the 31st.
Lies.
What he doesn't like is Dominion. He doesn't like Dominion, and he applies that to all. No. And the reason he doesn't like Dominion is because he's burned out on it, because he played it too much, because he loved it so much. He's a silly man, is what I am shouting.
Nice to see you, Richard.
Yeah, that was one of the best entrances.
You missed a fascinating, really long story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Sure, he just.
Lance, I was getting a drink when you did that. You want to retell the story?
We can summarize it in 30 seconds for you.
Go ahead.
Really
Do the 30-second recap of the story.
Oh,
no.
Max. He got some books. He didn't want the books. He tried calling. He went in a circle with the people at the company. They told him, yeah, you can send it to us if you want to pay for shipping. He was like, not doing that. Hang up.
See, Lance, that's how it's done right there. You could have said that. It would have been a much better story.
His story was actually longer than the phone call he did.
Yes.
I suspect it will be an entertaining story because Lance knows I appreciate him as a raconteur.
Ah, yeah. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome, pal.
I played a game a friend of mine gave me. I called It's Miller Time, but I got to think. Finish time.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Oh God.
I played it 5 times now. I wanted to play it with Jen to get what it's like to play with a human before I decided on what I felt with it. I quite enjoyed it, actually.
You quite enjoyed it.
Yes.
Got it on my table. Haven't read how to play it yet.
It's quite easy. That's one of the things I enjoy about it. It's easy to learn. It's a basic worker placement game with the Manhattan Project pullback deal, which I quite enjoy.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's basically a basic worker placement game, but there's a lot of strategy. There's like you're basically trying to get the most points at the end of the game based on relaxation points is what they are. So there's different ways to do this. You go on vacation, or you could, have a lover and go to a hotel. There's different ways to do that, and then you're going on strikes for equality in the workplace and stuff like that. There's many ways to score, which is another thing I liked about it. But I've only played it with two player and solo.
Did you use the meeple?
The extra part, yeah. That I don't know how I feel about that completely yet. With a 2-player game, that's the only way you're going to use it, with a 2-player and a solo. But I still don't know how I feel about that with the 2-player game. It may just be the way we're playing.
There's some moves you can make in that game that feel broken.
Yeah,
but I don't think Friedemann would have put it in there if it was broken.
Yeah, it could be that. It's just still exploring the strategy.
He is
I quite liked it too until I won today.
Yeah. What's that, Richard?
I said I would imagine he did the math more than likely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Steph and Michael have been playing on stream, and they basically said whoever goes first wins. So I was like, okay, you figured it out already. Two plays, but there's a very strong first player move.
Yeah, there is.
That is hard to beat.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I don't know if that extra player thing is, that's if you are the first player, with that extra. I don't know how I feel about it.
You can make 2 moves at once at any moment you have the meeple token.
But that first player thing, I don't think is true. Jen and I, like I said, we played 3 times, and she liked it until I beat her the 3rd time, and she was always the second player.
There you go.
Yeah.
What's everyone's thoughts on the new Descent?
Haven't played it.
Well, no, they just announced it.
I predicted it at Gen Con.
Is there some kind of controversy about it? What's the problem?
No, not controversy. I just wonder what the thoughts are. That's all.
I don't know that.
I thought there was some brouhaha.
Well, it's really expensive. It's like 170 or something, and it's also not Descent 3rd edition. It's Descent, really Lord of the Rings redone.
Yeah, Journey in the Middle Earth system.
It looks like they are.
Is it the same system?
They're copying Kickstarter projects. It looks like a Kickstarter project. So for better or for worse, that's.
And fully
that's where the controversy is.
What is it called then? What is it going to be called?
Descent giant ass box version.
Big ass.
I mean, it's like a foot cube.
Does that mean they're still planning 3rd edition, or is this taking the place of
Descent Legends of the Dark?
I can't imagine they're going to do a 3rd edition anytime soon with a new version coming out.
Kara Sentil Dunk and Nathan I. Hayek.
So no Kevin Wilson, no Corey.
It's
I think it's weird because if it's not Descent 3rd edition, then why is it called Descent?
So Nathan I. Hayek
brand.
Yeah, brand.
Did
they have a Terranoth brand?
They did Lord of the Rings and
Terranoth band. No one knows what Terranoth is
because they're using the same dice mechanisms and stuff like that. It looks like.
This looks like
it is Descent 3rd edition.
This looks like it'll be Kara's first design.
Completely new art style, though.
There's some backlash on the art style, but I mean they're going for something different.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
I'll just say this right now, and I realize I'm gonna say something, and I said it on Facebook, and of course I got blasted for it. So because you can't say anything without somebody telling you that you're a fucking moron for saying it in the first place.
They'd be right.
Yeah. No. So it seems like everybody under the sun has a new dungeon crawler, right? And I'm not saying they're bad or I'm not saying they're good, but I mean, everybody's got a different dungeon crawler. It's like, hey, here's my dudes on a map and I'm going to search this dungeon and we're going to find this thing and we're going to fight that thing and this and that and the other thing. And every single time I see one of these, I'm like, that looks kind of cool. But I'm like, why is this better than just playing Dungeons and Dragons? And I know what people are going to say immediately. They're going to say, well, you'd have to have a dungeon master of Dungeons and Dragons. No, actually, there are several, if not dozens, if close to hundreds of choices you can play to actually play D&D without a DM. And I'm talking about real D&D, like taking.
And how many people do that though? Before you get down that rabbit trail,
I can answer your question, Lance.
No. Here. Let me finish my thought before I mean. So, here's the deal.
3 hours later.
So here's the deal. You will not find. I mean, 5th edition D&D. I'm an old school D&D player, but I mean, 5th edition D&D, as far as having character customization, being able to play exactly what you want to do, the width and breadth of options that you're going to have, and also you can play it as dumbed down and as simple as you want as well. So it'll modify itself to as complex as you want to make it, or as simple as you want to make it. And also, it's every single possible dungeon you could ever possibly think of, ever. And you don't have to worry about running out of tiles. You don't have to worry about not having, getting that expansion or that expansion or this expansion or that expansion. Like one of those $30 books that you have that has an adventure in it. If you have a DM and somebody can run it, that is literally 100 hours of playing, and they're always coming out with another one every 2 months. It's like, why is this better? Well, I mean, I don't understand.
It's not better.
It's
don't know easier.
Yeah,
it's easier is why.
I could teach everybody in this room how to play D&D in 10 minutes. We'd be
but you've got to teach. But
you can't even tell a story in 10 minutes.
Got a point.
That's a very accurate statement.
D&D is intimidating to people that don't know D&D.
But like there's people that don't want to have an imagination. They just want to sit down and make choices and play.
Lazy.
But that's why you either there's entire publishing companies that are creating adventures that don't require a DM, and they've done all the thinking for you. It's like literally, but you're still playing Dungeons and Dragons. And
but I can walk into a store and buy this box on a shelf and walk away and play Lance.
And you could walk into that same exact goddamn store and buy 2 books.
There's no marketing for it to.
And where's the miniatures? Where's the board?
Lance,
buy all that stuff separately.
What if you want to play solo? You can play any co-op game solo. You don't need friends.
You don't. First of all, in this day and age, you can play D&D online for free, and you don't have to have miniatures because they Roll20, Astral, tabletop. There's several.
Those all have barriers to entry, though.
But they're just the same barrier to entry is reading that goddamn rule book. That you have to play
it's a little bit more complicated.
You're basically saying that D&D is not
wrong.
Successful.
Mm-hmm. Lance, does playing D&D make
D&D is sold more now than they ever have.
Right. It's for people that don't want to role play. They just
I don't want D&D.
Monsters. Yeah. Right. If you really play D&D the way you want to play D&D, killing monsters is just a part of what you're doing.
But this
is for people that just want to go kill shit.
But that's just it. Nobody is making you envision the life and tribulations of Ragnar the Ranger. You can just be, I'm going to go into that cave and I'm going to beat the shit out of some goblins and take their gold. That can be the width and breadth of that.
That's not what it's marketed as.
Mm-hmm. Right. If I play D&D, I've got to start off with 6 hit points, 2 spells, and then I got to go rest. Or I can play Descent and kill 57 monsters.
Once again, you're saying that but the thing is that when you say when the party's on with the combat, you say, okay, we rest. Boom. Okay, next room. And you're
I understand. I'm not saying that you're wrong about D&D. D&D is a much better system than these games. These games are easier for people that just want to go kill monsters.
If people actually knew what they're
Why do you think
board
people
games
buy?
too, Lance.
Why do you think people play RPG video games? Because they want to go kill stuff. Same thing.
I don't know. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, I mean,
I think you can argue that it's a better game. I just don't think you can argue that it's just as easy of an experience to jump into, because that's patently not true. I go buy one box. I have everything I need.
Yep.
Have you read any of the Dungeons and Dragons books? They're hundreds of pages.
The rule book's a lot smaller than a D&D book.
Yeah, you know what? I have read them. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, you know them, but new people
Joe Schmo on the street doesn't.
Lance, what's your point? People shouldn't go buy Descent.
No, my point is
Get
that
to the point,
I'm just wondering what the point
fuck
is.
over.
I believe his point is get off my lawn.
No.
I believe my point is that like I think that I'm just astounded that like, I mean, like there's the newest one, I think it's called Bard Song, that comes out here in like a couple of weeks in November or whatever. And they,
there's 20 of them I've got backed waiting for them.
Well, yeah, and it's just like, and it's just, and you have these
glorious.
people. No, you have these people, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna back this giant dungeon crawler, and I gotta make sure I buy Descent, and I gotta make sure I have this one, I have that one, and I have this one, and I have that one, and it's just like, and they just keep piling them on, and it's like you're never gonna play all those, and you could have just saved all your money in the world, and you could have just bought a D&D book, taken the like, and the thing is that if you want to learn how to play the game, go watch a YouTube video. There's tons of YouTube videos that just explain everything: how to make your character, how to make a dungeon, how to run a combat. And it's like, oh, it's a 7-minute. You don't even have to read the book anymore. It's like, so
that's
it's
for
like
every game, Lance.
Yeah. I know, but here's the deal: you buy 3 books, you literally can make anything you want forever.
Yeah, you won't. You'll buy source books. You'll buy miniatures. Come on, now.
But you don't have to. But you
will.
Have to.
You come on. You're like saying D&D without getting anything extra is better than these other games.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But you don't actually play that way, so you don't know that.
But time out. Yes, I do know that because
Why would anybody want anything besides a black car?
Yeah.
I am saying that because I'm the person that is like, I have played dozens of different dungeon crawlers, and none of them have ever been as much fun as Dungeons and Dragons. None of them even come close.
But they're still faster to set up.
Man, the millions of people that back Gloomhaven must be completely wrong about that.
Those fools.
But here's
them goddamn idiots.
I have friends who play Gloomhaven, played the whole thing. They still say Dungeons and Dragons is more fun than that. So that doesn't say anything.
Lance, I'll say Gloomhaven's more fun than D&D.
And I will say right now, there have been more people that have played D&D than Gloomhaven.
Of course.
That's fine. No one's arguing that point.
Well, then why did somebody bring up the point that millions of people play Gloomhaven are stupid?
Transformers is the best movie ever, I think is what Lance just said.
No, it's not Transformers. It's
Last Jedi.
Star Wars.
No, very good.
What I think it's absolutely ridiculous, because like and you can say, oh, like, yes, you can buy source books, but that's the same thing as everybody going out and like buying the next dungeon crawler, because maybe this one will handle attacks and health slightly different than the last 17.
Hold on, better than buying 10 dungeon crawlers, but what if you just buy one?
Hold on,
is that okay?
After Gloomhaven, what more do you need?
You just said you need 3 books to do what you need to do, right? How many books do you have, Lance?
But what does that matter?
How many?
Okay,
answer the question.
D&D's a dungeon.
You can handle the truth.
Wait for the translation. Answer the question.
Somebody gets another dungeon crawler game. They get a shitload of copycats. You got D&D, and then you got a shitload of copycat books. What is the difference?
Your book is almost as much as some of these dungeon crawlers anyway, if they're $40, $50 book.
D&D makes you happy. Dungeon crawlers makes them happy. What the fuck's the problem?
Books are way more expensive.
Frog God books are expensive because of the fact that they don't make shitty. They don't do shitty print runs. They make them like basically like school book binding. So they'll. I mean, you could drop them off your house.
They're also like 5,000 pages.
Well, no, I think the largest one they ever did was like a 900-page book.
Okay.
Not 5,000. You're ridiculous. My point is that
I'm never reading that.
is with 3 books. You know, the Player's Handbook, the DMG, and the Monster Manual. Like, you could have a million adventures in a dungeon, and they would and you know. And I get it. There's always going to be like.
But I like to take pieces out of the box and put them together.
I have all 3 of those, and I've never
My question was,
opened
what
them.
do people think about Descent?
See what you did,
Who's got
Tom?
time for a million
See what you
adventures?
did,
There's so many
Thomas?
games to play.
I don't know. It just drives me nuts. I think if people if I don't, whatever.
What
I apologize. I'll try to have less fun.
Damn you, Tom. Does this new Ascent, does it come with the app, or is it just the straight board
app.
game?
The app usually free when you buy the game.
Yeah.
And if it's like Lord of the Rings, I'm definitely not interested.
Is the app integral, or is
That
it
sucks.
just
I think you have to
another
have
it's
that.
integral.
If it's
Yeah,
like Lord of the
it's
Rings,
the
you
thing.
have to have it.
Yeah.
This
It's
is
fully co-op.
So slow.
This is a continuation of Descent, the same way that Mansions of Madness Second Edition
Correct.
kept the basic feel of the first Mansions of Madness, but totally radically changed it so it could have a digital app
That's correct.
and become a full co-op as opposed to a 1v all.
Yep.
So this is MVM2 for Descent.
Hi, Jeremy.
Hello, sir. Good evening, guys and
Hello.
lady.
Hey,
he said
Jeremy.
hello to
Just so you
Jeremy.
know, I'm hoping it's me and you in the final and list of
Oh
cups.
man, hey man, you know what? I think I may have an L in my pocket. Hold on,
Give it to Lance. He needs it.
I got one waiting for you. You see? Oh man,
I crushed David today. So
man.
come on, man. You gotta
He's
bring
such
your
a-
A game.
You know, and Kevin is such a nice guy. He's really squishy. So yeah,
What are you talking about?
He's going down. We were on this game called List of Cuffs. It's a little game show for this guy. He just kind of started it, and you go on there and you there's like a top whatever list, and then you're supposed to guess how many from that list. You kind of go.
It's like
back.
Family Feud.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically Family Feud for like geek culture stuff and board game stuff. So he's kind of kicking that off, and then it's sponsored by Queen. For the people who like chime in that are your fans, they get an opportunity to win a game for for being there and representing you and stuff. It's really nice.
Holy! I think this might be the most we've ever had. Here's Forrest.
There's more people on the show than are watching it.
We have 47 people watching right now.
Wow.
Yeah, you
That is
have.
wow.
But 13 of them are us watching the chat.
Yeah.
Don't eschew my numbers.
I got a Kickstarter game today. And
if anybody's watching this and you haven't backed Campaign Trail, go do it. Anyway, go ahead.
Yes, agreed.
This is how bad it is on Kickstarter. I pull out a Kickstarter game. I've been waiting for it. I was excited for it to arrive, and I pull it out and I looked at it. I'm like, I have no idea how this game works or even what the mechanisms are.
What
and
game?
I blame Garp Hill because this is the one game that they didn't send to Richard for a preview, so I didn't get to see what it was. I just backed it on site.
I reiterate, what game?
Viscounts of the West Kingdom.
Did you do Viscounts?
Oh, I'm still waiting
they
for
did
that
not
one too.
have me cover it when it was on Kickstarter for some reason.
I got
they
a bunch
only
of
sent it
Kickstarters in this
to
week.
New Zealand and Australia.
Yeah.
Stella and
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
and 3 Minute.
Right.
That was it. For I mean,
Yeah.
he just kept. I mean, I don't know. It was very weird. I really wanted to cover it. I have since covered it. I've got a video.
Yeah, I've got it queued up to go watch it now, but
Yep.
it
Yeah, I
was
was
one of
gonna
these
say-
weird things. A game that I always watch a Richard video, and it shows up like, I don't know how this works because Richard didn't have a video during launch.
Oh, you'll have to read that rule book.
Oh yeah, I'll read the rule book anyway.
What are you
but-
against all rule books now, Lance?
Yeah.
No, he's picking on me.
It seems like
He's picking on me.
you know what?
Oh,
Fine,
here we
fine. You know
go.
what?
Not
I'll own the
D&D.
grumpy man. I find it just absolutely ridiculous that people are just like I hear from people all the time. It's like, oh, I just got a
Lance,
game,
we know
but
you don't like board games. We've all accepted this.
Yeah.
oh no, it's like, oh, I just got this game, but there's not a how to play video. I gotta read
should be a
the
how to play
rule
video for
book
every single game.
now.
Now this is just a weird one because normally before I order something, I try to watch a video to see if I'm going to like the game. And this one I just ordered it because, well, it's third one in the set, so I have to have it.
Rado, you said you have played it?
Viscounts? Yeah.
Yeah. Where does it rank between Paladins and Architects?
It's the best. He ended his with the top. I think it is. I think you could make a valid argument that Paladins is a overall superior design, but there were some things in Paladins that really bugged me, and Viscounts is there wasn't anything that bugged me about it. It just worked great from start to finish.
Paladins is a very good game.
Paladins is very good. The thing that really pissed me off more than anything else about Paladins was, in my experience, there's not an insignificant amount of luck due to, like 3 of the card decks are face down. Oh, yeah, that's my 3rd wall I've built. It gives me crap that is of no use to me. And oh, you just got one that's perfect for you. That's great. Why is this happening? Why aren't there 3 face up and I get to pick? Why am I not drawing 3 and picking one? Why is luck playing such a huge role in this game? I mean, God, we just played what was it today? Pan Am, almost ruined by those stupid blind luck cards. I was so disappointed because it was so sharp otherwise. Why did Pan Am do that?
So Richard, I got to tell you the story, and I might have slightly turned a corner on something.
Books?
Yeah, no. So
nobody say Last Jedi. Just don't even bring it up.
No.
You brought it.
Bigfoot is not real.
I know. I had to be the one to bring it up.
No, Bigfoot is real. No, the possibility of Bigfoot exists. Anyway,
actually, I'm sorry. I've never been here for this. Does anybody disagree? Does anybody think that it is impossible, that there's no way that Bigfoot could not have at some point existed? Is there anybody
at some point?
At some point.
Bigfoot could still exist in the heart of the Congo right now. So I would not say that it's
he could exist in the Pacific Northwest.
No way.
That's my issue.
All right.
No.
So
there are huge tracts of uncharted lands.
It is
there are massive populations
burying the lead right now,
There are
Lance. What did you
massive
turn a
populations
corner
of
on?
porcupines that will eat their bones once they have perished.
Lance.
Lance. We're just not doing it again.
Lance, come on.
I will say it doesn't currently live in the United States.
No,
it can't currently have lived in the United States because some hillbilly would have shot it.
Maybe somebody would, possibly in the far reaches of northern Idaho or Washington, maybe they would spelunk further in. But
quit talking about Joel.
We're talking about the Pacific Northwest.
Canadians have seen it.
Right now,
there's a lot. I mean, the Pacific Northwest is freaking huge.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I live there. I've lived here for most of my, well, not most, I've lived in Europe for most of my adult life, but I've lived here for many, many years. I don't think it's unreasonable that I guarantee you, there were probably 8 new species of something or other discovered in Cascadia in the last 2 years. That, that shit happens all the time.
Massive animals or like small ones?
The size doesn't matter.
It does. Talking about massive
creature would be hard to miss.
I'm looking for like monkey staple to elks.
I don't think you guys realize just how
weird
big
stuff
the
coming out of
Pacific
there.
Northwest
Like,
is, and just how much of it is basically vast tracts of trees where nobody's ever been.
As recently as the early 20th century, large mammals have been discovered. So it's not unheard of.
Well, here's the one question I do have for you, though, Lance. What's the one thing that you were going to talk about before we got off on this tangent?
I never been here for a Bigfoot thing, and I wanted to see it firsthand and experience it for myself.
You're not missing much.
We had a hell of a night that night.
We'll put a pin.
Hey, a hell of a night.
Oh my God.
That was
We'll
great.
put a pin in the Sasquatch talk.
What else have you come around to?
All right.
So on the Sasquatch, I am the resident skeptic, and I will admit it's possible that it exists now.
Oh no!
There goes the debate. Yeah, but I mean,
that's what I'd say. It's possible.
But it's
possible. It's also
hillbilly would have shot native by now.
And now, if you will just agree that Dungeons and Dragons is the only good game, we're done here, and the Alaboom can shut down.
But
Lance,
I'm the crazy one, right?
No,
I'm
Lance,
the nutball.
Lance, you are still like the guy on a street corner with a megaphone, and all of us are just walking past without paying attention.
The Pacific Northwest is huge. Think about it.
I guess it's possible. It's also possible the Vikings could win the Super Bowl, but I don't see it happening.
No, that's not possible.
Anyway, I'm sorry, Lance. I derailed you. What were you going to talk about?
You can't remember now.
So here is the thing that I discovered. So I've been playing a lot of Campaign Trail lately, which I very much enjoyed. Go back it if you already backed it, back it again. And I recently I had a game that like basically I had set myself up for this perfect plan, this perfect thing that I was going to do right towards the end of the game, that once I did it, it was going to like basically cement the victory for me. And at that moment, a player placed a card that basically there's a card that says change your thinking or whatever, and basically like the action you were going to take on the card that you put down in front of you, you have to take a different action on that card. And it basically like, oh, I was going to win, and oh, now I'm going to lose, you know, just like, and so it was like this immediate 180 of the way I felt. And I was just kind of like, and I was like, oh, this is what Richard talks about, you know, when like people.
Not exactly. The player who played it, what did they think? What did
they were super happy.
Then they're an asshole.
That would be me.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Oh, well then Jeff is an asshole.
Well, no. So okay.
Richard,
so
you do realize this is
Hi,
one
Jeff.
of the designers, right?
Jeff is the designer of Campaign Trail. So no, actually it wasn't you, Jeff. It was the game.
I created that card.
Okay, yeah, but it was the
that
game
exact
prior.
moment?
It was the game prior to that happened, right? So then we
I
played.
remember playing one on you at one time.
Yeah. Okay. So we recently played another live play on Tuesday, and it was a 4-player game. My friend Roger, Jerry, and Chris Cluey was in, and we were playing, and basically, I got one of those cards, like about the middle of the game, and I said, I'm going to hold on to this. I was like, because this is the perfect, like, no, I don't think so card, you know, when somebody's going to move in and take towards the end of the game. And it was the exact same thing. Chris had a plan where he was going to basically, it was like an October surprise card or something like that. That was basically going to put a bunch of voters like into Massachusetts at the end of the game. That was going to give him 11 electoral votes, and it would have given him the win kind of thing. And he put the card down, and I said, no, I don't think so. And then Chris went through, I could tell he was going through the exact same emotions I had over that situation. He's like, really? And he's like, really? And the thing is he was actually a part of the game that we had when that happened to me. And he actually won the game because that happened to me. And so I was like, yeah, so you're going to have to pick something different. He had to pick something different. We got done with the game, and we totaled it up, and I won the game. And Chris and I were talking about it later, and I was just like, yeah, so, and I was like, first of all, I said, well, Chris, you didn't seem to mind the card when it got played on me. And he's like, well, no, because that's because I won. But I actually took a moment, and I was like, I feel kind of bad. I was just kind of like,
what
yeah,
is wrong with you?
I was like,
oh, not you.
I had this moment because, and I think
you should have been doing an end zone dance at that moment.
I know, and I won the game, but it felt hollow, and I'll tell you why. And I thought about it actually for good because normally I'm just like, oh yeah, take it. How do you like it? You know, this kind of thing. But see, I think it was the fact that I like held on to that card. It wasn't like me like actually like finding the perfect card at the perfect moment. It was like literally like I'm going to totally screw somebody. I was basically holding on to it the entire final turns. Like, who's going to try to take Texas from me? Who's going to try to take, you know, Arizona from me? Like, basically waiting to play it. Like, as soon as somebody was going to try to mess with me. And as soon as, like, and literally, like, the turns are dwindling down. And then, like, I was the last person to go in the turn. And the last person to go before me was Chris. And I was like, well, no matter what card he plays right now, unless it's like, I'm going to fundraise or something, I'm going to play it, you know, because because there's absolutely no reason. His entire action was hidden from me. I didn't even know what he was going to do. It's a card that you play that has a hidden result at the end of the game. And I was just like, well, that can't be good news for me. So yeah, you can't do that. And I was like, huh. So I spent like 60 minutes having this idea for this plan. It got me the win. And I think the reason why it didn't sit perfect for me was because Campaign Trail, yes, is a conflict game where it's like you're always trying to build up your voters in different states and trying to like, you know, win electoral votes or anything like that. And yes, ostensibly there is like conflict, but there's no real, you know, jam it up there and twist it kind of cards. Like, there is, if you include the dirty politics thing, I mean, that's a total different thing. And like, and so I think if we had been playing with the dirty politics thing,
sure, then the tenor of the game would be different.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Perfect word usage. The tenor of the game would be different. And I was just kind of like, or maybe if Chris had done something really mean to me earlier in the game, then I would have felt really good about doing something back to him. But I was like, I had kind of an awakening for that moment. Now, that being said, I play tons of games that are mean-spirited, and I will continue to be mean-spirited in those because that's part of the fun.
Mostly Dungeons and Dragons, though, right?
Yeah, you never kill anyone in Dungeons and Dragons, I'm sure.
A good dungeon master incorporates the stories of their players and tries to make them feel like heroes and make them feel like their accomplishment. There is nothing to be gained as a dungeon master by ruining or like subjecting undue torment upon the players. There is a contract between everybody that is playing that everybody's going to be working together to try to create the best story that everybody can enjoy, including the person running the game. So no. If you're playing a game where a dungeon master is being cruel and mean and trying to like screw you over, you are playing with somebody who, doesn't that doesn't know what they're doing. I mean,
so you have never killed a player intentionally.
I make all my die rolls.
Chris is not here to talk about this.
So okay, here's the deal. All of my die rolls.
Thank all that.
Considering the fact he's been playing D&D since he was 9, I'm sure the answer is yes.
So yes. I make up until about like 15, 16 years ago, I came to the realization that I was fudging dice to save players' lives. Like I was just like, oh, I don't want that guy to die. But instead, what I did was I'm going to start making all of my die rolls in the open. I mean, there were still a few that had to be like, I search for secret doors. You roll that yourself, so they can't know. There's the what's behind the curtain thing going on. But like in combat, it was like, yeah, let's see what happens and roll a die. I mean, I've had total party kills because they just got unlucky, and I'm rolling the dice in front of them, and I'm getting lucky, and like the band of kobolds gets some lucky swings, and here's some new character sheets. Let's start up again. But it also, I've never vindictively or purposely killed off a character to like, just be mean, because there's nothing to be gained from that. I mean, it's just like, it's just, I don't know. It's like, I've killed Chris's, if Chris Clue is here, I've killed Chris's characters in our games. But that's just bad luck. I mean, he's just had situations where, like he didn't know something was behind a door and he went running through there, and then the trolls ripped him apart. That's just what happens. I don't know.
So Lance, have you heard about this game? I wish I could. I was digging up and I was looking for it. Maybe you guys can remember it. It's coming to Kickstarter soon. It's a book that rolls out sort of like Jaws of the Lion-ish, where it kind of like you can open it up and it kind of becomes a map, but it's like a D&D setup. So it's like set up for the fantasy world.
Yes, Lance is literally working on that.
Yeah. I did the RPG writing for it.
Yes.
Wandering Tales.
That shit looks
the Wanderer's Guide. Yeah, the Wanderer's Guide.
It looks so cool. I was like,
the people that are making that contacted me and asked me if I'd be willing to write, do the RPG writing for it. So yeah, I did that.
I'm really excited about that. And then I was like, man, I got to tell Lance about this. You're a part of it.
Yeah. So launching on November 10th, the Wanderer's Guide.
The Wanderer's
gonna blow his mind.
How many pages is that going to be? Like 738?
No, it's Andrew Bosley art. It looks freaking amazing. They contacted me. I did the writing, and then I turned the writing in quite a while ago. I mean, they kept me in the loop and they let me know what's going on with it. It looks pretty amazing. So I'm excited for it, and I hope it makes millions of dollars, because that would be my writing. I'll be able to write for another one, and then I can write for another one after that, and so on and so forth. So.
The Stand.
Yeah,
that's gonna be retired writer pretty soon.
Look at that guy.
No, not unlikely. But
Lance, shut your mouth. You dream big, brother. You dream big. Don't dream big. Don't disregard this. This could be huge.
This could be massive. This could be the biggest thing that ever happens to you, professionally in your life. And I mean, don't downgrade it, man. Be excited for it.
So true story. I mean, like my wife's always like, why aren't you more excited about this? And I'm always like, yeah, let's just keep it in. And if it's great, then good, but let's just keep our expectations low, and that way we, just let's just see what happens. I mean,
Can't be disappointed if it's low.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things where if we did
I
this
don't care. It's not like anything. Yeah.
It'd be one of those things if we did this one and like it, got 25,000 backers or something crazy and made a butt ton of money or something like that. And then they were like, and then the next one's coming out and everybody was like, this is amazing, make another one. And then we made another one. Then I'd allow myself to be pretty jazzed about the next thing, right? But this is just one of those things where it's like just keep it in. Just keep it in.
I just want to let you know that if I ever see you at like a book signing with an ascot on, we're done. We're done.
You'll get in line with the rest of the
I'm going to have you sign the damn book and then we're done.
I'll be like,
we're done here. And I'm just going to look at you and be like, with your fucking ascot.
No, I mean,
and he'll pay you for that selfie.
Your ascot. Okay.
No, I am honored that they asked me to be a part of it.
Right now,
and I'll just leave it at that.
Why did they contact you?
Just the people that are
they saw a video.
No, they I mean,
just watched the
I'm not trying to be evasive or anything like that, but I mean, other than Andrew Bosley being like the artist, like everybody else that's involved is like, just like saying, hey, it's just the Wanderer's Guide. We're not, and the thing is, and so it was just kind of like, we're not trying to like, so basically the person that's doing it, they're just a good friend. And like, and they reached out to me because they knew I was an RPG guy, and they just said, so what do you think this would be something that people would buy? And then and I was like, well, I mean, this is what I think it would be good for, and this is what I don't think it would be good for, and I think this is what would be cool, and this or that. And then I gave them like a ton of notes on it, and then about a week later, like they asked me if they want to talk again, and I was like, they were like, do you want to do the writing for it? And they kind of just offered me to.
I got a quick question, serious question. D&D exists, so why does this need to?
So, I mean, I don't think that's a serious question because I think you're just trying to be.
I'm picking on your earlier comment.
Yeah, well, so I don't think it's a serious question. I mean, that's so your statement is demonstrably untrue. But
liar.
The reason behind this is that it's like basically a lay flat book that has really, really cool art where you can use it to kind of inspire storytelling and inspire people like, hey, this is the capital city and it looks amazing. And there's all these like kind of like, I guess like color form stickers. That would be the thing. Like, basically you can say, okay, over here is where you would find this. And over here is where, and then they're all dry erase pages as well. So you can make little notes. You can say, oh, this is where the Thieves Guild is, and so on and so forth. And it's meant to be a collaborative story element that would get people excited about what it looks like and just it's
an imagination aid.
There you go. My real question is this a true RPG or is this a board game RPG hybrid?
No,
it's a complete source book for RPGs, and it isn't just D&D. Obviously, D&D is like the big, is the number one. It's the top selling RPG in the world. So I mean, it's a fantasy based thing, right? But
yes. What would be the second place behind that? Is it like Numenera? What would be the one that like? If not D&D, like this is the second biggest world by far. Like,
I mean, second biggest like RPG.
No, like just gigantic following. I've been so into D&D. That was like my only. This is an RPG. I've probably played other ones, but I'm just thinking like, what would be that one? That's just like, well, people who don't play D&D, this is the one they play too.
The Vampire Masquerade, would that be one?
I mean, at one point it would be Vampire. Vampires are kind of like, not.
I said Pathfinder.
Well, Pathfinder is D&D, just
to knock off D&D.
Made by
Is Numenera that world? Is that a big one?
Not really. In my opinion, I could very well be wrong, when it comes to those things.
I was just assuming there's a section of Gen Con dedicated to something that feels just as big, or they feel like they're just as big as D&D, and they're not. But
in Europe, the Dark Eye is a huge
the Aventuria Dark Eye stuff.
Yeah, that's the number one selling thing in Germany. In Norway it's Trudvang. Like the original, the Trudvang is that's it's just
well, that kind of dwarfs us anyway as far as users go.
Yeah,
the world versus us. So.
What about Call of Cthulhu? Wasn't that plane? The original one?
I gotta bounce. Good to talk to you guys.
Good to talk to you. Thanks for telling me I was wrong. I appreciate it.
That's why I show up.
Here, hold on. I'll just. I might as well just. I could share the Kickstarter page with you guys. Hold on.
Oh my. Here's the thing I don't understand about how it works. A lot of the pictures are, hey, here's a cutaway what's on the first floor and the second floor and the third floor, right? Yeah. How do you show that without everybody saying, oh, well, we just need to get down to the third floor because that's where the thing is?
So, I think it's, and that's a great point. The idea there is that it's not showing the full dungeon for one. It's kind of showing, and this would be more of one of those things where it's like, for the dungeon areas and things. One, it's for the DM to come up with an idea, right? Sure. And just I think this is a cool idea for a dungeon and for a creation. It's also for this is the map that the one-legged one-eyed man in the tavern sells you, and this is what he knows it looks like underneath, that kind of thing. So anyways, here you go, the Wanderer's Guide, a fantasy atlas for RPG campaign. There's our call to action, 48-hour free gift.
Lance, could you just close one tab for me, please?
Shut up.
Oh my God.
Just one fucking tab, bro. Just
my wife comes by and that just drives her crazy. She's like, how can you handle those tabs? I was like,
I just closed 15 tabs myself. Closed 15 tabs.
So
ridiculous.
Here's a little.
You have prompted me.
Yes, you get characters.
All of his tabs and figure out what every one of them is.
Yeah.
Be careful, Richard. Orc porn's in there somewhere, I'm sure.
No, not actually. But so there's I apologize. It's kind of zooming in and out kind of quickly and showing you these things. The video is pretty good actually.
How long is the video?
Has to be under 2 minutes.
It is under 2 minutes. Thank you for
please
asking.
tell me it's under 2 minutes. Oh my God.
Yeah,
please.
I
2 minutes.
No,
it's not.
It's close. It's close.
Just say hand grenades or horseshoes.
I stressed that to them a great deal, but I was outvoted, so whatever. So it's you get a Kickstarter double-sided fold-out map with varied cartographic art on there.
You gotta have that anyway. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then you get the free token pack, which you wouldn't get normally. If you're in the first 48 hours, you get the collectible metal coin. Here's Jamie Keegi saying something nice for us. So I wrote backstories for every single one of the NPCs that are in here. That's one of the things I'm doing. There's a DM screen that's going to have a bunch of help for creating your world, and also just some random tables of stuff. I did the writing for that stuff. Here's this cool orc. When we first got this orc, he looked goofy, and I was like, you got to make that guy look mean. And then they changed him, so that made me happy. I really liked this dwarf cleric that they made. I like the way that they made her look.
Bosley is the bomb.
Yeah, he's fantastic and very, very open to feedback, and also very good about putting his foot down and saying, no, I'm the artist. This is how it should look, which I appreciated about him a great deal. It's pledge $35. You just get the book. $60. You get the NPC deck, so you'll have all these little cool NPCs. You get the GM screen. You get this town builder pad that'll be awesome. It's like basically this pad of paper that like when you create a town, it'll have all the information you need. And then if you want the cool, you want the all in, you want the whale. You know,
oh my god,
that is the whale, isn't it?
That's the whale.
150 all in.
Well, yeah. So this is the almost whale. This you're gonna get the cloth map, the dice. You're gonna get the book and everything like that. But then, if you want, like, there's the cool.
That looks really nice. Yeah,
the cartographic map. But if you want to go with the big giant, give us $150.
Yeah,
you get everything. You get the neoprene desk mat of the world. You get the collector's pin. You get the collector's level wanderer's dice, which is like they're going to be like these special dice that we had made. Ooh, look at these dice, huh? Look at them.
Wow.
Nice.
When's
you go.
Oh, you didn't have Banana Chan writing this thing?
Oh yeah, Banana Chan thinks they're amazing. So
wow, how about that? I thought they'd be writing on that. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah,
we got you.
Yeah. So but here is more couple. This guy's a cool dwarf guy. Then your standard add-ons. You want another GM screen, or if you didn't want to get that, we have these cool dice bags we're selling.
Oh wait, they got NPC cards.
Yeah, so and then the NPC deck, there's 40 of them. They have backstories and quest prompts. So each one of them. So like if you want to just create if you want to say, hey, this is the dark shadowy mage in the corner, and so I did a lot of those. I did every single one of those quests and wrote them up. That was so yeah, there you go. There's Alice Pang. She's an RPG writer. She was kind enough to. She thinks it was amazing, and she.
I don't even know how I know all these people, and I don't play RPGs anymore.
Yeah,
I don't know how, but I just know all these people.
So you can't really see it, but that is just. I mean, this is beautiful. I think
that's beautiful.
I think we're giving the art to Berkey, and I think he's going to make a tabletopper for that.
Oh wow.
And you can't really tell, but right there's this giant shark right there, like a megalodon. But over here, I mean, it's like the whole idea is that you look at that, and like the more you look at it, the more things are just going to pop up for you. Yeah. And you'll be like, oh, that looks really cool. What's that? Oh, that looks really cool. What's that? So it's like you'll create the stuff in your mind as you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, here's this island, and then you can't really tell, but there's like it's like got the classic skull. It has the classic skull in the side of the volcano. Mm-hmm. If you look down here, you can barely see it, but there's like a sunken temple down here. So it's like, there's all kinds of stuff. There's even and once again, it's kind of tough to see, but one of these mountains has a glint, and you can kind of tell there's like a dragon on top of it, stuff like that. Cool capital city. Here's zoom in on the castle, and just like kind of describing the castle, the dungeon underneath the castle. The cool wizard's tower with lightning and all that stuff.
Yes, I saw a picture like that, and I just don't understand. I mean, unless you have covers to say, okay, you're on the first floor now.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can definitely cover it up. That's fine. And it just helps people visualize. I like the tavern. And there's a secret door in on the basin of the tavern. So like, what does that go? The farming cities.
Richard, you know what I was thinking when you said that now? Like, you know how when you play RPGs back in the day, and like
I've never played an RPG in my life. So no.
Oh wow. No, like video games, like RPG,
yes.
Yeah. So like, you know how like some games will have like FMV everything and all that other stuff, and then the other ones, the more traditional like Japanese ones, they would have the background be like that castle or whatever, but in the foreground it'd just be two characters just standing and talking to each other. And I was just thinking, like, if you had miniatures, like you would just put the miniatures on there and be like, we're in this room, we're in this building, and these three players are interacting. So you put your miniatures on there, and then you kind of interact in what's going on there. Versus like, we're on the first floor, we're on the second floor, we're on the third floor. It's kind of like it's an encounter page in a sense, like versus like having to be like first, second, third, because that just looks like a kind of like a side page. It doesn't look like a world or something like that.
So like here you can see some of the stuff I've written. You know, the mysterious wizard is selling powerful magic weapons and artifacts for an amazing price. They all seem to work and be what they claim, but after payment the next day, all the magic items have disappeared and the wizard is nowhere to be found. You know, so it's like that's just the opening idea, and so like the idea is that the you as the GM you'll take that and you'll create an adventure trying to like let's track down this wizard and get our money back because that guy's a jerk.
Like it.
So things like that, and I was pretty happy to write all this stuff. Even one of the NPCs is a dead guy, which I thought was cool. So yeah, Jamie gave us that was cool. Mr. Stigmeyer, 50 plus pages. It's a little long. I said I thought this was a little long, but they once again I kind of got outvoted. Shipping is relatively cheap for everything, plus especially for the United States, which is where you get the majority of your backers. And there you go.
Does this have its own rule set, or use
it is
rule
complete
set and it's an aid?
It is completely 100% system neutral. It has
okay, that's what I did not understand based on the other.
It has nothing to do with anything.
Cool. What's the delivery time frame on it?
It should be bad because we'll be able to make it pretty easily. I mean, the biggest thing is like getting all the art done, and because we still have, obviously there's, if you saw that list, there was like another 15 or 16 pieces of art that need to be finalized.
I got a next year's Christmas present there for my son.
Oh, there you go. Anyway, I'm done doing my advertising.
By the way, Jeremy, to answer your question, I did Amazon has their top 100 selling RPG books, and of the top 100, almost all of them are Dungeons and Dragons. The highest non-Dungeons and Dragons is Pathfinder at number 67, and the second highest is at number 90, Neverland, a fantasy role-playing setting.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, and Neverland is for use with 5e. Anyway.
Oh, is it? Oh, well then, crap.
Yeah, it looked like I did a little research.
It's this Pathfinder, and they are a distant.
Yeah, it looks like Call of Cthulhu is the non-D&D second place.
Oh, that's actually pretty. Yeah, you're dead on there. And Call of Cthulhu is amazing.
Right now, definitely.
Call of Cthulhu.
I think that's what Barry was saying earlier too.
Yeah.
I think he was guessing that one. But that
Call of Cthulhu, the game where if you survive the first session, you're doing better than 90% of the other people. No, I mean seriously, Call of Cthulhu is one of the most deadly. Like, I mean, most games end with half of the players are insane. A couple others have been eaten by things that were never supposed to be seen, and then one person is driving away, cackling like a madman, trying to escape. I mean, it's just like, and we're done, and the world explodes. Thanks for playing. So, I enjoy Call of Cthulhu though, strangely. Then again, I like all. I mean, are they done making stuff? I wonder if they're done making stuff for not Arkham Horror, because I think Arkham Horror 3rd Edition is a pile of crap. But why can't I think of the
Eldritch?
Eldritch, yeah.
I think they're done with it.
I suspect they are not after the success of Lovecraft Country.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Ooh,
well, I think they've cranked out all their expansions.
The bellows, and they've gone back to the abyss once again.
They haven't done anything for quite a while. I think they got all the investigators from Arkham into Eldritch. So
I think they would just do a runoff on Arkham if they were going to do something for that Lovecraft Country. I think it would be like a Dunwich expansion or something like that,
Well, they're still cranking Mansions of Madness 2.0 crap. So that'll keep going.
Yeah.
And they haven't hit all the investigators with that yet. So they've definitely have expansions coming from that. And they're working on that Arkham 3.0 that Lance loves so much.
What now? Oh, Arkham Horror. It's garbage.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I didn't like it
I
either.
don't disagree with your opinion of that game at all. It's just
Why
not,
is that?
It's just not fun. It's just
What did they change to?
They went to that bag draw system that the card game has, and for the board game, to me, it just doesn't work. They made it too soulless, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
It just does not feel like Arkham Second felt. It just does. It feels too cheesy. The best Arkham Second to me is Eldritch. I liked Eldritch.
Yeah, it was just. It's kind of like how
You're stuck with it.
The Warhammer successor to Talisman was a better game.
Yeah, it's like if it was a beer, your Arkham would be your full-bodied beer, your Eldritch would be your light beer, and your Arkham Third Edition would be your near beer. It's just it doesn't have the thing that makes it.
I'd rather play the dice game.
I've never drunk a
than
beer. I don't know
Arkham Horror 3.
I hate beer, but it's just.
Well, I'm a beer snob, and near beer just makes you angry.
Yeah.
And that's Arkham Third
Doesn't
Edition.
make it. There's no. It won't please you if you don't drink beer, and it won't please you if you do drink beer.
Exactly.
I've literally never heard the term near beer before this very.
It's like 3%.
Really?
No, it's less. It's usually even less than that.
What is a near beer?
It's like 0.3%.
It's just non-alcoholic beer,
it's-
so you can
it's-
enjoy the taste of beer without having to worry about getting drunk.
Oh,
It's beer that they distill off all the alcohol.
wow. That's
Why
weird.
can't I think of the name? What was the dice game that was Arkham Horror?
You're talking about Elder
Elder
Sign.
Sign.
Elder Sign. Yeah, I'd rather play Elder Sign than Arkham Horror 3rd Edition.
Yeah, and Elder Sign's okay.
Elder Sign.
I used to like it a lot, and it kind of wore on me.
Well, the one thing I really despise about Elder Sign is that I have I think I have all the expansions. I think because I think they stopped making stuff for it. But I have all the expansions for it and everything like that. But it's like they never thought to we're going to make 27 expansions for this, but we never thought to actually give Elder Sign a normal size box. So it's like I have to keep the expansion boxes. I hate that.
I crammed all of my Elder Sign crap into the one box. I don't know how I did it, but I got it crammed in there.
Oh, I just absolutely despise the fact that here's a box and it's full of everything, and here's an expansion. Now you got to keep that expansion box, or you got to duct tape the expansion.
I mean, name a Fantasy Flight freaking franchise that isn't that way.
Yeah.
Because my Mansions of Madness 2.0 is in 2 boxes. My Arkham is in an extra. It's in an art case. My Eldritch is in an art case because it won't. It takes up so much damn room.
Let's talk about this campaign trail. We were able to that barely contained everything after you punched everything.
That is true.
Did I mention that we're including a giant box that will hold everything nicely with this expansion? So
Wait, what is Campaign Trail? I haven't heard of that before.
Are you yanking my chain?
It slices, it dices, it does it all.
Go back.
Go back.
Have to go back at you, jerk.
You really thought that I was serious there for a second.
Like for half a moment, I mean, you don't even know how to bend a hat. I don't know if you remember things.
Has anybody played the digital version of Game of Thrones yet?
I have not.
I have not.
I'm interested in how that works. I never played a 6-player game in it.
So I have a question. Isn't that a heavy negotiation game?
It is and it isn't. I mean, how do I even put it?
Oh my gosh, Glenn Drover is here?
Yeah.
He's been here the whole time.
He's silent, man.
He's on mute.
I was trying to get him to talk.
He's just watching over us.
He's quite the ninja.
He is a ninja. He was hard at work too. I was going to ask him what he's writing. He
There's
said
such a huge grid of people. I didn't even look at everybody.
Yeah.
I would say hi, Glenn, in case you're leaving by. Hi.
No, he has to come back. He's probably on the cell phone though too. So yeah.
See, we know how you feel about us, Richard.
Well, yeah,
I'm Richard's
Glenn
favorite
freaking
person
Drover.
right this second.
Oh, I know.
Okay, can I ask a question for everybody? Just
as long while Glenn is still
show
gone
a hand.
before he gets back. Okay.
How many people know who Jimmy's Chicken Check is?
I've heard the term.
I've heard the term too, but
okay, so 0. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
All right. And
it's a band.
it was
It's
never
not a
mentioned
term.
again.
It's a band. I don't think it's a term at all.
Oh wait. Well, what was it?
Jimmy's Chicken Shack.
Oh, okay. No, I was thinking from the movie
something
from
like
the
that.
Meters, the One Hit Wonders. That was the name of. It was like Jimmy and the Crab Shack.
Yeah, something like that. I can't. When you say that,
Oh, you're talking about the one.
I didn't remember like a band. I remembered something else.
You talking about Tom Hanks movie?
Yes.
That's a spectacular movie. That is so good.
What was that? The Wonderwalls?
The thing you do. The thing you do.
The thing you do.
Yeah.
The Wonder Walls.
I was thinking of what's his name.
Yeah, you were thinking.
If you have not seen that thing you do, Cassandra, it has to go very, very, very high on your list.
Your favorite person should say.
It's a really cool movie.
You trusted me on Willow. Trust me on this as well.
I was very excited. It was very good.
I know.
100% Senna fan. I would say it's my favorite of what's his name's movies.
Warwick Davis.
The Lucas.
Or Val Kilmer.
Lucas.
Yeah, I think it's a Lucas film, isn't it?
Oh well, yeah, he produced it. Yeah, so yeah, it's certainly. Luke, I think he wrote it as well, or it was created story for it. Yeah,
I don't remember.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
My wife loves it too. I also love it.
It was so great. I'm now really excited. I was like, I'm not going to watch a new TV show, and now I'm like, I have to watch a new TV show. Like I don't have enough things to watch.
Well,
all right.
Mandalorian's coming out in a couple of days.
Yes, my son and I are anxiously awaiting the new Mandalorian.
Oh, Mando.
I find it funny the drama behind that, though. With the what is his name? The guy who plays the Mando. Pascal, is that his name?
Pedro
Pascal. He's complaining he doesn't have enough FaceTime.
Well, that's the gig you signed up for. I mean,
how often do you think it's not him in the suit?
They said it. It's like 99%. You know, they said it. It's not.
Oh yeah.
So that was it, and he like walked off during the filming of the second season. Cause it is because he wants more money, you know,
All right,
and,
man.
and FaceTime. So it's I just find it.
Unless a Disney employee is being abused on the job, I don't have it. I don't give a damn.
The FaceTime thing is that
if they're not being abused on the set, I mean, even an underpaid Disney employee is getting paid a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's the stuff you sign up for, and you're fighting for stuff in Star Wars that's so touchy. Everything is so touchy.
Yeah.
Like you would dial back the existence of a season if you cause so much controversy, and it ain't worth it. And I know it always happens after the fact. It always happens after the fact. Like I can't stand that when it happens because it kind of taints what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, all right, you could have had that energy like 3 months ago. Like, where do you want to bring it up now? During promo season, you know.
I played a new game this week. A little guy that I liked a lot, actually.
What's that?
Lux.
Cinder. Has anybody?
Yeah, how was that game? Yeah. That was right last week. That was good.
I think, I've done a lot of online dating, and so I wonder if it's as good for people who haven't done a lot of online dating.
Yeah.
Have you, Jeremy, done online dating?
I met my wife at the beginning of online dating. you know how? Check this out. My wife messaged me on Yahoo Personals.
Oh, wow. And you were like, "Are you here to murder me?"
I made a profile on there and didn't pay attention. Yeah, I just didn't pay attention to it, and she messaged me through.
You ever get on that late night Yahoo chat? Remember that back in the day?
Yeah, back in the day, yeah, that was lit back then. That was real lit. But
you
yeah,
find
it was
people
crazy.
in your area real fast. That was great.
You can find people plenty fast, man. I'm telling you, plenty fast. There was a time for plenty of fish. There was a time for match. There was all these ages.
The longer and longer you unsuccessfully date online, the more you start appreciating arranged marriages.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was pretty tough, man. I ain't gonna lie. We went through it. We weren't always together, so yeah, it was
yeah.
But I online was pretty insane.
I like this Cinder game because it's fantastical enough that it feels separate, but still mirrors real life dating apps well enough that it's still like funny and familiar, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick that game up just because I like slick card games and just to have something silly to play.
Yeah, and that game's like the flavor text is actually funny in it. You know, I mean, some games,
especially the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th times you read them.
You know what? Gosh. I've only played it 3 times so far, so I don't know. Have you played it that many times, Lance?
It depends on the game.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I've definitely played Campaign Trail more times than I ever thought I would. You know, I mean, no. I mean, the thing is that I mean, the thing is though, each time I go back to the Campaign Trail, like, because now I'm on a winning streak, and I'm just like, and each time I go back into it, I'm like, all right, and then I tell myself, it doesn't matter if you don't win. It doesn't matter if you don't win. But I'm like, I mean, I feel like I'm just going back to commercials here. But it's like, as I'm getting close to that second debate, so I know like we're like 2/3 done with the game. I'm just like, I gotta win this game. You know, just like
that second debate. Once you get to the second debate, and like right leading up to it, it's like shit gets serious. It gets real.
Oh,
serious.
I get
like,
so mad at people.
Just like, I mean, like it's still kind of like, okay, I'll get here, I'll get there. Oh, I'll let them get this. We're fine. And then, you know, the first debate, you just kind of like, let me find something I can get. I'm good.
Oh, I get so angry when like somebody's got piggy banks down in like negative, down in like 3 on their chart, and you're like, why isn't anybody taking piggy banks? Why? Right. Take it back. Well, I need my voters. No, you don't. Nope. you need to stop him. Stop him.
You know why everybody's holding their cards. You're thinking to yourself, like, why? It seems like they're not playing these cards. What are they, delving into? Yeah, that I was just blown away by that game, man. Congrats on that design.
Thanks.
I mean, it's one of those situations where it's like you finally dig some shit up out of your collection that you have of games you haven't played, and like, I remember when I saw it was coming to Kickstarter, and that's usually like a sign of like, I really need to fucking play this game, even though I have a ton of shit to play. And I played it, and we were just like, this shit is amazing. And then this is damn near unheard of. We ended up playing it again the next week. So nice. My buddy was like, whoa, we're playing this again? I'm like, yes, we're playing this again.
It's not good.
Yeah, when you get the double repeat, it's a permanent stay there. Yeah, but I'm really, really impressed with that design. But I want to get more of the I'm excited to get more content, which is always great to have. That more carrot on the stick is good. So, what did you guys add? Wait, what did you? This is advertisement level. What did you add to the game? The end game state.
So in Campaign Trail,
yeah,
I'll let the guy who designed it talk. I'll shut up.
Yeah. So the end game, we decided that, I thought that I didn't necessarily have a problem with the end game, but a lot of people said it could have something better.
Yeah.
So it's basically an end game goal situation. So you're like, you get cards at the beginning of the game that show you get 3 different cards that have 3 different goals. Like it might be, so much money, or have so many registered voters, or whatever. And one thing I've always hated about end game goals is having to decide up front. You don't know how the game's going to play out. You're just like, I have 2 cards. I have to pick one, discard one right away.
Right.
That's stupid. I hate that. But the other thing I don't like is the min-max you can get if you get to keep goals throughout the entire game.
Yes.
At the very end of the game, you're like, oh my God, if I put this worker here and get 1 more coin, I may get this goal. If I do this thing here. So I designed a system that you gradually weed them out throughout the game. So you start with 3, and then after the first debate, you get rid of 1. Now, for the second debate, you get rid of 1. So that last section of the game, you only have the 1 goal, and that's the one you're going to score. But you get some time throughout the game to kind of figure out which way you're going with it. And so it basically works out like at the end of the game, you have this 1 goal. If you do it, it's a tiered system. So if you do it okay, you get a certain number of voters. If you do it a little bit better, you get more. If you do it really, really good, you get a lot of voters, and you can put those out into certain states because you have another card that has various states on it.
Yeah, a state. Okay, so you have the little state target at the end of the okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So you have certain states you target and a certain goal you're trying to do throughout the game.
Okay, that's pretty sweet. That actually is that's a perfect way to sum that up then. Yeah. That's sweet, dude. I played a really interesting game this week. By the way, that what is that? That Lost Ruins of Arnak is really good. But I played this really interesting kind of bidding game. It's called Nidavellir, like the dwarves where you forge things together. They forge Miramar or whatever. Well, this game's not. It's sort of set in that way, but you're bidding for these dwarf cards, and what the cards are, each one of them has a different type, and you're putting your coins in this little area to kind of bid for each one and each one of the 3 spots, and you draft the cards from there based on your turn order. But what it has is this like little cool little thing with one of your coins that's a 0, and the 2 coins at your bottom, you take those 2 coins and you combine the number, and then you get them from a rack. You get an upgraded coin from a rack to make your hand of coins better. And what you're building is like these columns of specific scoring for each column. And then when you get all 5 across, you get to recruit special warriors of different types with different scoring conditions to add to those rows. And if you do it in a timely manner, you can keep pulling these things off. And it was just it was just very, very interesting. It's a very easy choice game, but it plays out because, of course, that bidding flip, and also you upgrading your coins makes it real interesting. It's got a real flow to it with tiebreakers as well. But they have these like little bonuses that you keep getting between ages for having the most of not just points, but banners that you've collected for each one. So it's like you got so many different things to worry about. You can kind of get pulled both ways for your auction. I just thought that game was really interesting. I'm hoping it makes it over to the side of the pond, but who knows? Those types of games, they end up being hidden gems, and sometimes they never hit the shores. But Nidavellir, I don't know. You can ask Peter Dinklage. God damn it, I don't know. You can ask fucking Dinklage. Who cares a shit? All right. I played Whistle Mountain. Hey, Richard, have you played Whistle Mountain?
I filmed a video for Whistle Mountain. Yes.
Yeah, you did.
And you loved it, right?
I thought it was excellent.
Yes.
What did you think of it?
Man, me?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that game is absolutely fantastic.
Awesome.
It is fantastic. Like, the biggest gripe up front is that it is super filly. It's ridiculously filly. Like, there's stuff everywhere. There's like
I'm not surprised.
Water strips that you pull out, and you put them on like pegs. And what happens is like when you take it off, you got like all these blimps and shit all over the place, and you got to put it on top of the stuff, move the workers out of the way. So it's like, we got to move these and da da da. But it's not wobbly. You actually just stick them back in the little the little parts there. If it was, it'd be terrible. Like, it'd be terrible. They did not spare any expense on components at all, which is
that's
great.
Good. I played a.
Yeah, they're super thick. They even made the board thick, and they made it into 4 pieces. So instead of like making it, they did such a great job with that. And go ahead.
I played one of his prototypes early on, and I was wondering how he was going to do all the actual finished component production of it.
No, we played a TTS, and I was like, I hope to God you clean this shit up in the physical version. He was like, trust me, they're sparing no expense on this. But yeah, this is a really interesting game because the different machines that come out and you're placing them, just the placement alone and how those are played out, mixed in with the scaffolding and how you kind of build those patterns. Like, the worker placement part changes so much drastically, because of how you're building the board for, to put things on. So it felt, it really feels different. The board game state changes so much. Just to, that right there is the replay stuff. And then also just having the pressure of watching your people fall in the water. You gotta pull them out of the water. Otherwise you're losing 5 points per person. I had a picture I shared on social media. I had 6 people in the water. I'm like, well, that's negative 30 points. So it's that's a really interesting game. I played that one, and there's another one coming up from Bezier called Maglev Metro. I
haven't heard of that one.
Richard, have you played that one yet? I don't know if they sent them out.
No, I have not.
Yeah, that one I actually got to play with Ted, which is really cool. We were just like, it was the Essen Digital.
Mm-hmm.
And it was early in the morning. It was a 7 a.m. demo. And he's just like, it's just you and me, man. So let's just play. So
nice.
We sat and we played the game. He talked me through it. And it's basically, it's not Whistle Stop, but it's a train game where you are building routes to different stations. And you are basically building those stations based on the type of workers you turn in. And then you kind of create like a, what do you call those things? Not like a monorail, but you kind of like build these monorail routes around there so that you can pick up and drop off guys at specific spots. And on your board, it's really just like a big engine building machine. And that was the part that really attracted me. I remember when I saw this game at the beginning of the year, it was just like that board is this cool little build engine that you're kind of creating. And like in the middle point of the game, you are literally just taking workers and like, because you have different ones, you're putting them in your program, igniting this all at once. And I was just thinking to myself, like, if this game is this freaking fun at 2 players, like it's got to just be very interactive at 3-4 players. And that's what I like. I like kind of stuff like that. Like at the end of the game, he actually beat me up and forced me into, he created a situation where he finished the game and I couldn't get to where I wanted to at all. He was like, I decided that I was going to pull everything this way and have you try to come get it. And then you made one mistake and then I moved everything over here and just, you can't get to it. And I was just like, that's fair. That's strategic. I could see it. I see the writing on the wall. Yeah, I had so much fun with those 2 games this last week. I was thinking like, damn, Bezier is kind of killing it here to finish off the year. If they can get them shipped, if they can get them shipped in before the end of the year.
Hopefully.
I think coming now, but I don't know if Maglev is going to make it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I was supposed to get Whistle Mountain here pretty soon. It should be coming to my house. And Dwellings of Elder Vale is another one that I'm eagerly anticipating coming.
God, man, that game. It's so.
Yeah, I'm waiting for mine.
I played that prototype like months after. Like I still have it. I played it months after it was like I was done making content. I played it forever. It was so good. And I didn't have all the stuff for it. I had most of the stuff. I had cardboard stuff on it. And I was just like, I don't care. That the final, what I've seen of the final pictures on social media.
That one is it. I've played that game with Luke. Luke is like my best friend, so I play a bunch of his. I play a bunch of his prototypes. And I remember when he first did Dwellings, like way back in the day, and I saw it all the way through his development. And he came out. He knocked it out of the park, like compared to what it was when he first designed it.
The thing is that I did not see that from him. So I was like, maybe I just don't know who the fuck Luke is. Cause I was thinking like, you know how you just see somebody's designs, you're like, okay, I get this is just what they do, whatever. But I was like, okay, so you got Energy Empire.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had Dwellings, which I was like in between that and Whistle Mountain, which I knew about. And I saw he was with Scott Caputo on that. I was like, okay. So here we are, Engine Builder, Tile Layer, we got that. Then we have another Engine Builder, Worker Placement.
Yeah.
Dwellings was like in the middle. I'm like, who is he? Where did this middle design come from? Because it's just different. It's just different.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm like, where was there another game that he made that shows this evolution in there somewhere? I don't know. Like that game.
Not really. Yeah. Actually, when Dwellings, when he first designed it, it was much more along the lines of the Energy Empire stuff. It was purely like worker placement, engine building, stuff like that. And I don't know where it came up with the idea to include these like monsters and stuff, because that just wasn't his style, but it works. It really works. Like I was like, okay.
Yeah, I was just like, man, this is really. I'm not saying he can't create this deep game, but it's just like, what the fuck is this? That's what I was thinking to myself. Like, what is? But hey, man, you do it. You do it.
I think he pulled some stuff from others' stuff, because he did this one game when he first got into game design. we lived. I lived right down the street from him, so we would get together and test games all the time. He had this game called Prophecy that he had that was all like this weird like mechanic of memory-based games, and then these monsters that came out and like fought each other, and you fought them off, and it was an interesting concept. He never went anywhere. Like he just could never make it work. So I think he pulled some of those concepts into Dwellings later. Is what he did.
Yeah. Hey man, the design stories of these games are ridiculous. I mean, like the guy who where I was asking this guy who did Everdale, the guy who did Everdale. He was like, "Yeah, I made this game so I could play with my wife, and then there was like some doodles, and then I quit on the design, and then like 6 years later, I picked it up, and it all came together." Like, okay, you know, like it just certain things they just happen. They just happen. You find it. I don't know. You find it, or you just get inspired by playing other games, which designers should do. So, which designers should do. All right, Lance. I think I'm actually going to get off because I'm.
What?
I know I'm getting off super early.
Good for you.
I can talk all day, and second of all, because I actually told my wife I was going to bed early. I promise.
Chicka wow wow.
I promise. Hey man, I might. Let me go to bed, bro.
Okay.
Like the end of Clue. I'm gonna go home and make love to my wife.
Oh, Michael McKean.
I'm out. I'm out on that one.
Right, see ya. Good talk to you.
See you, brother. Clue, great movie. Yeah, just and a movie what was it? They actually filmed the 3 different versions, and depending upon where you saw it, they depending upon the movie theater, like they had different versions went to different movies, the movie theaters. So like if somebody who saw the movie, you know, in a different city didn't see the same ending as somebody else. That's why if you watch Clue either streaming or on videotape or whatever, they include all 3 endings.
Yep.
So cool. I mean, like, yeah. And Clue is a pretty good movie. It is just a wonderful, like the cast is just perfectly made and God, I haven't seen that movie in a while. I remember my daughter watched it and she thought it was hilarious. Just
watched it recently.
You know,
Jen loves that Timothy. Oh, what was his name? The Butler.
Why is Glenn like chatting with us?
His phone's
on because his phone is
on a
dead,
call.
And that is how he was on before. So he's still on, but his phone is dead. It's weird. And he can recite the entirety of that thing you do from memory as it happens.
Yes.
It's that good. I went back and rewatched that 2 years ago. It's so good.
Which movie?
Such a feel-good movie. That Thing You Do.
I didn't much care for that.
Well, you're wrong, Lance. Moving on.
Just like Dungeons and Dragons. You're wrong. I like Tom Hanks. I like him a lot.
Everybody likes Tom Hanks.
Well, he met his wife.
We're really gonna go there.
He met his wife. He met his wife on the set of Volunteers. So,
dude,
is that just a fun fact, or is that like a negative I don't know about?
No, I mean, like he made the movie Volunteers, and Rita Hayworth was on there, and along with John
Wilson.
Candy, Rita Wilson, thank you.
Yes.
And Rita Hayworth.
I know.
Yeah. No, Rita Wilson was on that movie, and it was just like, and they met, and you know they're still married all these years later.
Seems like a positive thing.
Who would divorce Tom Hanks? Like,
I don't know.
I'm not gay, but if I somehow ended up married to Tom Hanks, I'm probably staying with him.
Well, I mean, he's a proven earner. You know, so
there's that.
Yeah.
There's that.
I think I mean, you know, and the people have been like listing off and they haven't listed off my favorite movie that he's been in, which is Burbs. There you go. There, somebody just mentioned the Burbs.
Burbs, yeah.
I love the Burbs.
That might be my favorite Tom Hanks movie too. It's so
Catch
good.
Me if you can.
I love that movie.
The Burbs is, but he's not the main actor. He's like I mean, the Burbs is.
In the Burbs, he's the main actor.
Oh yeah, but not in Catch Me If You Can. The Burbs is that is such a. I mean, I made my daughter watch that, and she was just laughing her butt off too.
Yeah, that movie's so good.
Oh, I mean, Art's got a gun. I mean, and the more you watch it, there's all these little hidden moments of like different things that you don't really like you catch, and Rick Dukeman, rest in peace, was great as the crazy next door neighbor. Brother Henry, who played oh man, the Klopex. Is that a Klopex, huh? Is that a
I also had a boy crush on Corey Feldman for most of my growing up, because there were so many classes like The Burbs and Goonies, and he was just in so many good movies back then. He was so funny in The Burbs.
Come on, Grant. You still know
Brother
you have
Theodore.
a crush.
Thank you. We could get that, Brother Theodore. And then I'm trying to remember. I mean, the Klopex next door were fantastic. I mean, I just love that. Bruce Dern. I can't remember the name of his wife as the actress, but she was the voice of the mom on the American Dad, the cartoon. I don't know why I remember that, but I mean, but I just remember like they go over there next door and it's like, just like Klopek. Is that a Slavic name? No. He yells at him. So good. Oh. And then this furnace goes up to 6,000 degrees. Is that normal? Just like, such good stuff. And all these in the chat, and he's not in here. What I mean, what is this?
I'm gonna take off, Lance.
Jeff.
Good to
thanks
see
for
you
staying
all.
up, man. As I said, this is Jeff. He designed Campaign Trail. Show him some love. Go back it. If you haven't backed it, back it again. And yeah, Jeff, thanks for the designer diary stuff, man. People are really loving it. So you got one more in you, right? Before the thing's all over?
I do have one more in me. You should have that tomorrow, hopefully.
You're the man. I appreciate it very much.
Yep. All right. Well,
all right.
later.
Take care. So I mentioned Cloud Atlas. Cloud Atlas is a very good movie too. It's a little weird.
Yeah, it is a weird one.
You got to watch it 2 or 3 times to really grasp the whole thing, and it is long. It is the Wachowskis. They definitely were like, we're gonna make a film, and you're gonna need to watch it at least 2 or 3 times to really understand everything that's going on. But that was a good movie. I like Cloud Atlas.
So, Cassandra, what's your favorite Tom Hanks gig, or do you have one?
Favorite was Apollo 13, followed by Cloud Atlas.
Okay.
So have you watched Cloud Atlas more than once?
Yes, I have. I've watched it over 5 times.
Oh yes, I mean I've watched it. I've had it. I'm at the point now where I can have it as background noise, and it's just like what I love watching it. Just I love the I mean, have you read the book? I would read the book too. I mean, there's a lot more to it that they dive into with the book.
Why would I read a book when I can watch a movie?
Because you feed your brain future legislature.
Books, get out of here. Nobody.
I love that you have a bookcase next to you.
Yeah. Nobody wants you here.
Tom, talk about him hiring a person.
What's that?
He came on.
No, he didn't mention that. They're looking for a new editor. I mean, is Roy leaving? Or they just have so much stuff going on they need another person.
I would bet, apparently. Yeah. Hey, but I wanted to ask everybody, but I couldn't get a word in. Who went to Essen? Did anybody partake?
Well, I haven't. I can't go to Germany right now because.
Yeah, well, there was a digital thing this weekend, 4 days.
I heard some fly by night company like with board games was doing something digitally with it. I don't know.
We busted our asses. Exactly. Yes.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah. Well, not just us though. There was plenty. There was like 4 or 5 streamers doing stuff.
I watched it, but I mean, honestly, I think
attended. Did you guys?
I did. I watched. I popped in and out.
No, I meant, but did you go to Essen? Did you partake in any of the events and stuff?
Oh no,
Did we use the webpage?
Where's the time for those things?
Because that was
They had a digital convention.
Well,
I was just wondering if anybody had attended.
I tried going to the webpage to see what it was like, and was disappointed to see they did it 100% wrong. They could not have done it more wrong. That big hex thing that you're supposed to explore,
where everything was on fire.
And I think Gen Con did it the same way. Hey, look here, let's just give you a slightly graphical list of all the publishers.
Yeah, they had the looking glass thing, right?
That's not how it works. You go to a convention, you just walk around. You see things. You don't see publisher names. You see, oh, look at that game. What these things should be is effectively a Pinterest page of lots of really cool board game porn, just the coolest, most awesome shots. And you just keep scrolling. Oh my God, I got to look at that. And I got to look at that. And that could, in some small way, replicate the experience of discovery you get at a real life convention. And instead, just saying, oh, look, here's a fancy graphical way to tell you that Fantasy Flight is over here and Capstone is over there is meaningless.
A list would have been perfectly fine.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And I don't know who works at these companies, but no one cares about blind people apparently in board gaming. There are blind people in board gaming, y'all. Just FYI.
Yeah.
This giant cloud galaxy.
Would you say it's a large percentage?
What? No, of course not.
What kind of okay, but here, maybe I'm
if it's
maybe
one
I'm
person, Lance, you should have a webpage that works. By the way, in America, you have to have that. Just FYI. No one knows this, by the way. I keep spreading the word. But no one listens to me.
So here's the deal. It's like people will market things to people that are going to. I'm not saying that we shouldn't care about blind people. I'm saying that.
Oh, for sure. No, and I'm just saying these paradigm, what are they called? These visual graphical interfaces.
Lance,
they have no.
I'm sorry. Go on. Sorry.
Oh God! What did I say now that somebody's
no. When you were just holding your hand up like this, really close to the camera, it made me look at you. Have you made a green screen of your living room?
It isn't.
Kind of looks like a green screen.
It isn't. I noticed that earlier today. Look, I can move this chair behind me. It's
totally.
That's a really elaborate green screen you've got.
But no, I noticed that today. I was like, wait a minute. It looks like I have. I don't know what I did. It's
yeah,
somehow
you're popping out. I expect to see.
Can you walk into the background real quick? I think he's lying. Oh wait. There he goes.
You just crossed some threshold and now you're in. That is so weird.
It's in the underworld.
And now you've popped out and you're now in front of a backdrop.
Yeah, I don't know how I did it. I honestly, I was like,
about the lighting on you.
Yeah.
There's a weird rim light around your shoulders that makes you look like you're popping
totally
from the entire background.
Totally looks that way.
Backlight.
It's so freaking weird.
Yeah, I believe Aldi's in space more than I believe you and
I know. In his real living room. Can't make it do it.
Yeah.
Whatever. The interface needs to be the right way.
Yep. What did you think, Scott?
I didn't attend. However, I do have this to say. We were way down. We were more than half
in views,
in participation in viewers and live watchers than we were last year. We had over 1,000 live peak. I think we hit 700 this year. Once on the first day.
700 still pretty
super
good,
disappointing.
Were you expecting that though? Everything.
I guess not. I guess I was. I wasn't. I kind of hoped that people would be like, oh, well, we had 75 brand new games that almost no one knows anything about.
Wow.
I thought maybe people would watch it.
I put it on as background noise a lot of times where I wasn't caring that people played it, unfortunately. I just wanted to hear them talk about it more than anything.
Yeah.
So a lot of background noise.
Yeah. No, I don't know what I expected, honestly. I expected at least to match what we had done before because now everybody's at home, theoretically. and can stay and watch all the Essence stuff. And we did it during American hours, right? North American hours.
But
normally we're offset in
that
Germany
hurt you?
by 8 hours. What's that?
Do you think that hurt you? And you would have been better off doing it on European hours still? I wonder if,
no.
I mean, do you have stats for what your percentage of viewership was last year?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I mean, in terms
I mean,
of,
I don't know. No, I don't have
not
any
just the raw numbers, but
I have no demographic
regional
stats.
data.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, I don't have any geographical stats. No.
Oh yeah,
Just
because I
number-
mean,
just
YouTube
pure
would give you
number.
that stuff. I didn't know if Twitch would.
Another reason to use YouTube.
Yeah.
Would have been more interesting to see where we did see, I was peeking around in Twitch of the other streams that were doing it, like the Spanish stream,
Yeah,
and the German stream, and they had thousands of viewers, and I couldn't understand
Wow.
how. I couldn't understand it. How do you explain that? Thousands, 5,000 people were watching the Spanish stream. I watched it, and I understand a word or two. It's not for me. What they were doing.
What were they doing? Were they just talking about
A guy sitting at a table and talking at a camera with a box in his hand, and like that's what I watched. When I saw 5,000 people. When I saw 5,000 people watching, like, holy shit, what the hell are they doing? Right? Why are there 5,000 people watching this? And the guy was super energetic, and it's great, and he's peaking 1,000,000 miles an hour, and he's like super enthusiastic, and it was great. Very good persona. And
got shut down.
It was 5,000 people,
And
but I
unfortunately,
didn't
Lance
see any
isn't here to make
games.
a ribald comment
She
about
said
how
no.
fast he is.
She said
I had
it out.
Oh, did you participate in Lesson?
She said no, man. No. She had a headache. Story of my life.
Oh, there you go.
All right. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway.
He was just talking about fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
He was, he had 5 times the number of his viewers on board game channels.
Oh, no.
Streaming the same content.
10 times. 20
10
times. 20
more.
times. 20
He's
times.
right. He's right. I got back on because I heard, because I was about to shut down my computer, and I heard
Yeah,
you talking about
and I
Spiel
don't
Digital.
understand why.
Because I went all in on Spiel Digital. Like
Did you do any events?
I just got up. I got up Saturday morning at 6:30
3 a.m.,
a.m.
4 a.m. Yeah.
And I was like, let me just take it in. Let me see what's gonna happen, because I figured this is the world's biggest one. So what the fuck is everybody doing? So I knew that you guys didn't come on until a little bit later in the day. So I was like, all right, let me just
we weren't switching our out. We were for a North American audience, right? Like
so I went straight to the website, and then I also went to like publishers that I knew had stuff ready. Like they had their Discords, they had, the things that they were promoting. So I tried Habas. I did Habas, Bezier, Pandasaurus.
You check
and Board and Dice. So I went to all their Discords.
Yeah.
And they had rooms set up for everything. They had chat rooms. They had find a game, conversation about game, teach me a game, free, they had everything. And like if you got up at 6 a.m., they even had it separated. So they had like German room, French rooms, English rooms. So you could go play digital. They get you the links. You get right in the rooms, get going. It was great. And the people who actually taught the games knew the games, which is very good. They didn't struggle with the rules. There was very, very clean experience, which you have to have, when you're doing this stuff digitally.
Yeah.
So I would say on the game playing side, I only had positive experiences. Only because we had a lot of people who did not know Tabletopia, a lot of people who did not know TTS. And those people were well enough versed to explain it and make the experience good enough. Some games we got to play most of the game. We even had to play opportunity to play all the game. It just depended on the timing. So they had worked that out. It's just that some people went like so deep into it that it was kind of a dud for them, because you got too many demo tables. And it's just like, if you had too many demo tables at a con, you just have too many people. And Haba had that big time. They had way too many tables. And you got staff sitting in this area for like 2.5 hours with nobody at their table, which is a virtual table.
Empty tables, you're meaning.
Virtual table, which means you're probably sleeping at your computer waiting for somebody to make noise.
Yeah.
So, there was that, but then like Pandasaurus was full the whole time. or like certain CGE has a virtual world which they had sponsored through Spiel Digital. That was very unique because they actually have like a little 3D world. Like
I think I saw a screenshot of that.
Like Second Life. It's like Second Life.
Second Life.
Go in there and you like walk around. I don't know if you guys know what Second Life is, but yeah, you go walk around there.
World of Warcraft type thing.
Yeah, and you just walk around and find things that you want. You kind of have a little world to look in. That's the most advanced of all of them. I would say the most advanced. But there was some user experience things that were just absolutely terrible. The DNA sequence, that's the site that you're supposed to like go to and like click on. I don't know what.
They're the galaxies.
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck. I feel like this.
But they had the thing where if it was on fire, that means people were in there.
Yeah, which that's an interesting feature. I did like when you click on a page, you get the games and then you get the content attached to those games. Yeah. But the problem is a lot of publishers did not have stuff that you could watch about the game. So why the fuck do you have, like, you should have something. Try to get some content up there about your games, because people who can't get into these games and, I don't know, like they can't get into the virtual games, then maybe they can look at a video about the game, or a link to their store. And a lot of these places didn't have links to them and they were available. So I had to go around.
I tried to order actually, and because they put everything through Pegasus Spiele.
Yeah.
And I made my cart and it was like $300 or $400.
Yeah.
And then I go to check out and like ship to country. Like, oh, where's the United States?
Yes.
Oh, you. Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's usually like USA. Oh, no. Oh, what about America? No, it's not there.
Yeah.
Oh, no, must have left us off the list.
Yeah.
By the way, so no American shipping. Just FYI.
Yeah. So it just it was. I was like,
not possible.
Yeah, it was just ridiculous. They should have linked it to Filbert or something too.
I order from Filbert and I get the games in 2 days from France.
Yeah. By the way, I ordered Bonfire. I got it in 3 days.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. I was like,
you're paying for it, but you'll get it. Yeah,
that's fine.
Crazy.
Yeah, but I found the experience overall about as good as it's going to get for what I call year zero. Like for year zero,
it's their first con. Yeah.
Like,
but how do you improve it? What do you do?
But for year zero, you know what? This is what I posted like how I felt about the whole thing. Nice long post, posted in several groups, and I was just like, this is where a lot of publishers have failed. Mythic Games did a great job too, but they also did promotions leading into it with their Kickstarter as well, and they revealed some stuff that was matched up with their Kickstarter at the convention inside their Discord. So they did a nice little move with that. And Pandasaurus did like a coinciding, we're playing these games that are releasing right now because they're actually releasing up to them. But they have everybody who does this stuff. They have young, smart people who are understand this kind of stuff and how to get people engaged. I would tell every publisher that knows that this is going to possibly be part of our new normal. Before you start throwing all the money in the world at it, because it's never going to be cheap. It just never is going to be cheap. What you can do though is start and end the fuck ups now. All right, get the feedback and change it for next year, because it's not going to be year zero anymore. It's going to be year one, and year one is going to come with like, all right, well, last year I just thought this shit was not going to stick around until this year. Now this year I have to go to Gen Con online. I have to. And then you realize this guy doesn't have a booth. Van Ryder doesn't have a booth, and they don't have this cool interactive experience. And it's just like, well, fuck. Like, where do I, people are going to expect that.
It's still debatable whether it's worth it, right?
It's not worth it right now. It's not worth it.
Here's the thing.
It's going to cost you money. I heard how much money publishers are losing. And the only reason why some of them made the money back is because they either had a Kickstarter or they had several products that just released that month. But
were they losing money on what?
Just like what they paid for the package to be on Spiel, like
on digital Spiel.
Yeah, like the digital Spiel and whatever access they paid for. Yeah, like some people were like, well, we made back exactly what we did, or we it just felt like a waste of time and resources. I'm like, it always will be. Shit, sometimes going to Gen Con can be a waste of time and resources, just depending on how it moves. But you still do it, and you get better at it to figure out a different angle on how to reach your customers and to build new ones. And for some people, digital has opened up new opportunities for them to buy games, and you have to start entertaining that conversation, figuring out how you're gonna fit it. But some people are just the lack of nothing. Like, man, at least have a Twitch channel, at least have a Q&A every once in a while. Like, you have fans. Some of these publishers have.
Yeah, turning on a webcam is easy.
It's like turn on
getting a designer on there, talking to them. That's easy.
Yeah, I talked to one publisher. I said, dude, you can just do every fucking Friday and have like a Q&A, or every other Friday, and then just write to your little fans in your fan page, which you have 800 fans, and they seem to show up on my feed every day for something. They will come watch. Or you can just do it live on Facebook, whatever it is. Like, get people used to the digital version of you. Let them get to know you. Get your designers out there to play the games with the people. People want to play games with the designer, you know. Or if you have like an RPG, you know, type game.
Questions like what kind of ice cream they like.
Yeah, random shit.
I mean,
random shit.
I watch these Q&As, and that's what it comes down to. It's
Yeah.
personality.
Yeah, I'm serious. Like, it just, you know, Julie from Greenbrier, it's a friend of mine. She writes RPG stuff too. So she'll just write episodes specifically for conventions, like, and then people play them. That's awesome. You know, like, and then you can go download them later on their website. So it's like, you know, people like it's. You got to
it's
get
weird
cracked.
though. Like, I don't know how anybody sold anything, because obviously they missed out on all the USA.
So
I don't even know how many people from America went to the show.
So think about it like this, though. Okay.
I mean, not many people go anyway, right?
But right, no, many people go anyway.
It's
But
tough
think
to
about it
go.
like this. That's the thing. I don't think digital sales from the traffic of the website will sell ever. I think you have to do a good job of establishing a web store for yourself that is an experience that people want, okay, to be at. Perfect example is Lucky Duck Games. Lucky Duck Games has quite a roster of games on their own, which sell, I'm sure, well, right? But they also distribute games from other publishers and stuff like that. Well, their website, I don't know if it was even existent, but I know they did make their website once COVID picked up, and they made this baller nice website. It's a nice user experience and everything. And they have sales, and they drive traffic, not just to their game, to their store. So it's like, if they were at a digital convention, they could even do it in their Discord. They could just say, hey, like, we're at Gen Con, join our Discord. You get discount code. It links it right to the website, just like you would link right to a Tabletopia page.
Yeah, Haba did they had their websites already going.
That's what happened. Yeah.
And they had gave out a really good discount code that was not restricted to anything. So you could order anything.
You can order anything. So yeah, I'm serious.
Yeah, that was the way to do it.
It's just people, man, let me tell you something. T is unfucking stoppable. Anyway.
What?
T is unstoppable. She is unstoppable. She's amazing. Like, what she did as far as setup, because that was the first thing I did that day, was play Haba games. I was just overwhelmed at how impressive this was set up when I got in there. She's insane. And then she had her Twitch going too at the same time, by the way. I was just like, she is insane. But yeah, I just think that publishers have that opportunity. And if they develop it, they'll only be better at presenting it and advertising. I thought the lack of advertising overall was just piss poor. And I don't feel like that's up to Spiel to do it. I just don't feel like that's up to Spiel Digital to do that for you, unless you're paying all that money to do that and have them put you out front all the time. I feel like you have to, if you want the money, you got to do shit that makes people want to come. Like, or you got to inform them, just like if you had a Kickstarter, or just if you had a new game. Like, you got to say, hey, we're going to be there. You know, it doesn't have to be Essen. It could be.
So we turned up. We did a convention, the Digital Con, in September, out of the blue. We did not announce it. We kind of announced it like softly.
Yeah. On
our streams, people who watch us, put up a banner ad, whatever, but very like mellow. And then we say, here we go. We're streaming for 2 days, Thursday and Friday. And it was fairly strong attendance, but then we had people complaining that they didn't know what happened. Right. So we're like, oh, well, we need to do a better job of that.
Right.
So we spent, I want to say, 15 hours of creating content just to put out before Spiel.
Right.
To let people know we're doing our thing. I sent out a survey today on BGG. 65% of the respondents did not know we were doing anything.
Did not know
Like,
we were doing it. Yeah.
what the fuck do I have to do?
I know.
What do I have to do?
Because people were like,
65%.
You had to knock on their door and hand them the flyer.
Somebody said they didn't
like
see anything. They said they didn't see anything for Spiel Digital all weekend. So I had on Tuesday and Thursday, I was like, I'm going to throw publishers a bone. I'm going to just flex for 1 second here and just make this weird social media post that'll pull people to it. I was like, all right, publishers, do your job. Pull in all these people. Spiel Digital is this weekend. If you got something to sell, you got something to do, inform your potential customers, and let them know you got cool games. Tell them what you got. Tell them what sales you got. Post just goes right. I put in different groups. Well, guess what?
I missed it in the Board Game Geek group.
Okay, so guess what? I had to put it in the Board Game Geek group. Okay. Nice shot, Scott. Okay, nice shot.
Are you in the Board Game?
Nice shot. I did not. No, I.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I didn't see that, but you know.
I don't think I am. No, I don't think I am.
Oh, okay.
But
I should have done that.
Yeah, but I, and then like we come back, right? And then they go, hey, what happened to Spiel Digital? I'm like, this happened, People are like, I didn't even know about it. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I know that there's certain publishers that are in chats every fucking day. They do it every day.
No, it's super hard to get the message across.
And it's just like,
Lord Javi says we need a spokesperson, but who could do, unless you hire a Will Wheaton-esque type person, maybe, that has a reach.
You do have to have a major,
but you're not making any money, so you're just throwing money away.
You are throwing money away.
I don't know. It's hard to justify spending money on trying to get people to come to an event that makes no money.
But Scott, what is it? What would give you the money back? Like what's getting your money back?
I don't know. Yeah,
if 5,000 people are viewing if 5,000 people are in your stream,
it's
what are they getting? Right.
Yeah, it's a brand boosting thing.
Right.
It's a brand like, hey, BGG knows what all the they have all the games and they show all the games every time.
Right.
We did 6 shows this year. We probably showed like 300 games.
Yeah.
65% of the user base of Board Game Geek that responded, which is several thousand.
Yeah.
Said they didn't know about it. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm spinning in the wind, hoping someone gets hit.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a little frustrating, but whatever. I mean, that's the way the year is, I guess.
And it's tough because the digital stuff. I mean, like even with MVM stuff, we struggle because we were thinking like, we're playing games that take a lot longer. And I always tell
you guys work hard. Yeah.
I'm like, dude. I was like, dude, we gotta flick. I said we got it 2 days. I talked him into that. So we have 2 days because I talked him into it.
Do they only want to do one?
Right. But I was like, when we do one day, we always end up playing these big ass Euros and then trying to squeeze in small games. And then here, me and Kira and, and sometimes Ryan are like, can we throw this in there? Can we throw this in there? And I'm like, why don't we just have a game where we have light games for a day?
Yeah, you need to because I watched you do 3 hard games in a row, which was like, how did you do that?
My brain was melted.
I mean, I as a content consumer, I appreciated that you guys did those.
Yeah, but I'm like, I love silly games. Like, and I was like, we can't make it always like serious. You got to try some different, small, big, tall, that kind of thing. And next year, I'm going to suggest we're going to
need a cat and mouse episode.
What's that?
You guys seen that game, Cat and Mouse?
No.
It's amazing. It's the next game from the Clask team.
Yeah.
It's based from Exploding Kittens. It's a cat face that's set up sort of like a table tennis board, and you have these little paws that flick, and it's a magnetic paw. It hooks into the magnet, and you pull it back, and you launch your ball, and you're trying to knock the teeth out of the cat or the nose. If you knock the nose on the other person's side, you just win. Or you got to get all the teeth on their side, or you got to get all your balls on their side. It's like a Klasky game. Like you got to do that fun stuff.
Have you played? The best, like the most like ridiculous fun I had, of course, was the last game of the whole freaking thing. It's called Fairy Tale Inn. It's called it's Connect 4, where all the pieces have different abilities. And you're trying to create you're trying to create like scoring chains based on how the powers trigger.
Right.
And then you're also gaining coins along the way as you do that. And then there's actually like little bonuses, as you go up the 4 pieces, and there's like turn off power spots and stuff like that and get an extra turn. And it was just I was like, this is so fucking cool. like I was like, Jeremy's like, dude, you look super happy playing this game. I'm like, this is everything I want. Like, this is everything I want in a game. Like, this is pure fun. There's nothing to it. This is fun. And that hopefully that's coming by command, by the way. And hopefully it makes it by Christmas. I need that game so bad in my life. Like that's fun to me. Like that's easy fun. That's Sticky Chameleons. You know, like
yeah.
You know, just let's have fun. Let's slap.
I was going to ask Grant, since he sort of comes from a different world, like how do you get noticed, and these days, is there anybody doing it right that you feel is getting noticed?
Or like
just anything, honestly.
Just people who are really cutting edge. And just
is
like
comedy happening now? Like streams and stuff. Like, is there you know what I mean? Like, are there events of comedic value that people are like, oh, I should go watch that?
I mean,
live.
I did a industry panel thing recently, a couple months ago, and was talking to some of the big agents and stuff like that in comedy, and the thing that I took out of it was, if you're not already famous, you're fucked.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think if
some of the big comedians are like they're like literally saying like they're popping. The ones that even popped off, they were like, this is like the worst time ever. Like it just went from like, people just
it's happening in the world of acting too, where like when movie stars are doing commercials, then there's not commercials for like middle class actors, right?
Right.
That's happening in comedy a lot too, where a lot of these people would be doing theaters, but you can't be doing theaters right now. But some comedy clubs now have built like outdoor stages and stuff, so the bigger name comics who would be doing 1,500 seat theaters are now doing 300 seat outdoor comedy clubs. And so like then the working stiffs don't have an opportunity to do.
Yeah.
So,
what was the name of that game, Jeremy?
It's called Fairy Tale Inn.
Fairy Tale Inn?
Fairy Tale Inn, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
No, I'm serious.
It's tough. I think everybody's going to be, anybody who really depends on live participation.
I think this time is really, in anything entertainment, which board games are as well, you have to wear multiple hats. And I think that this time is like proving that, right? Like if you have a few different ways to make money or a few different things to get noticed, then people are going to come at you from a different way, and you can stay afloat when one of them isn't working because of like circumstances in the world,
Same thing with the board game thing. I was just that's what I was saying with this publisher. We were talking. I said, dude, this is the time where the intern would have paid off. Like, you got this tight ass unit, 3-4 guys, 3-4 folks. You guys are you could rock it through different skill sets. Just trust in the room and hard work. You can suck at things and get better, but you're doing it together. And then you're on these Zoom calls, you're on these things, you're creating these events. And it's unfortunate when you got one or two people, which usually it is sometimes, and then or 3 people, and they live in different parts of the U.S. and they don't, they're just used to making games only. They don't like marketing. They don't like this. It's tough, but even those marketing,
it's definitely disruptive.
Tough, really tough. I don't know, man. I was thinking about that when I was watching yours. I did pay attention to that because it was like he had like 1,200. I think it was like 1,200 viewers at one time or something like that.
Maybe in the first hour.
Yeah, maybe the first hour. But yeah, I was
our peak was right at the beginning. You usually get like a big surge, and then everybody's like, "What the hell is this?" Go away.
Yeah,
we don't want to learn about games. We don't want to hear anything.
It was, what's funny? I was watching Smooks teach, and I was just like, Smooks, just hire me. I'll teach your games. Like,
that is a huge thing. I was shocked. I am shocked. Fairly big companies
you should hire people.
Need to hire a person to demo the game on video.
Honestly, I mean, like, as someone who's like used to being in front of a camera, if I like a game, I would totally do that.
Smooks is a good
I'm
guy.
flabbergasted. No, it's not, and we've been doing this for like, God, I can't remember now how many years. 8 years of Spiel videos.
Oh, okay.
I know people's English language is not their first language, so hire a Fiverr person or someone who can teach the game and come on video and do it. A couple $100, maybe $100, a copy of the game. It's rough.
It's rough.
A lot of people this year haven't been traveling. They don't have their English down, and I'm not making fun of them or thinking they're any less. They speak 2 languages. I speak 1.
Yeah.
But it's terrible to watch someone who can't really speak English fluently and smoothly with the ums and the ahs and the ums for every word to understand how a game demo works.
Yeah,
just can't do it.
Yeah.
You're essentially just saying make sure that the viewer has a good experience.
Exactly.
That doesn't have to just be related to language. That's in anything. If you are wildly uncomfortable in front of, you should also
demoing stuff. Yeah, if you can't.
That thing
speak a
is
full
they struggle with
sentence.
conversation. Like, so it's like it's not just explaining the game. Like some people want, a lot of users still, as boring as it sounds, some people, and I think the majority, really do like rule for rule walkthroughs of the game. They want to know the whole fucking thing. So I know that sounds crazy because I feel like the majority of the world just is like, can you just sum this shit up in like 3 minutes and be done with it so I can know what I need to buy or not? And that's tops.
They want to be told
that's tops. But board gamers are a little different. They like all the board shots, all the.
You gotta have that first, like Lance says, that first.
Yeah, you gotta have something
get you right, and then you can go down that path of.
But like you gotta be a
45-minute demo.
You gotta have conversation. Like it's got to be a conversation, and it's and like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be rule for rule. But you guys have a 25-minute block, so they got to fill it, and they got to be able to fill it. Like if we're done with
it was weird. Nobody hard. I think we had like 1 demo and short.
Yeah, so it's like
which was shocking to me because 25 minutes is a long time to talk about a game.
No, and I'm thinking
it's a long time.
How could you do that? But you play a couple rounds.
Yeah, we were playing a couple rounds.
It should be fun. You're talking about you talk about the strategies. You're shooting the shit. This is not your first rodeo for most people. Talk. Like make it fun. Make it fun for users. Like I don't know.
That's what I was like. How is there not a part of the board game industry that has a talent pool that can just be like, yeah, well, hire us for this convention. We'll demo your game all week.
I was thinking about
English speakers or whatever.
I think I asked a publisher about not like I thought of that later, but I was thinking about pitch prototypes. Like, is there like people who are pitchmen? Like, there's pitchmen. So, do they have pitch people that are like they pitch that person's prototype because they just know this? They're a little bit better at sales and explaining things than the person.
I think there are people like that in the more mainstream games.
Yeah.
YouTube, I'm back again for news.
Have you thought?
Stop watching porn. All right.
Get off of himself.
Stop watching your own porn.
Honestly, Scott, you are like a central hub for everybody in board games. Have you thought about sort of like being a place where like
Are you saying Scott should open a talent agency?
Well, I mean, not as formal as that.
I don't know how to do it, but yeah, I mean, it would be interesting to use the BGG as that kind of thing. I mean, it's weird. Like, me and Richard, we are always gobsmacked how little board game publishers utilize what is for free, 100% free on Board Game Geek, and it doesn't cost a dime.
Kind of crazy. Instead of like having like an official agency or any of that sort of stuff, you have a page on there where people can set up a profile that are available to do that sort of stuff. They list their rate for doing something like that, and then you take a 10% from what they get paid for doing that.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah,
working on something like that for a while. After James Matthew passed, we were working on trying to pull that info he had, plus add another database where content creators could add their stuff, and they would be put into like a database similar to what he had. And then just update a little bit more with like samples of your content, And then
Right.
like what do you
sort
have
of like a Fiverr for content creators.
like a Fiverr for content for board game content creators.
I mean Fiverr. Yeah. I'm
yeah,
just using
it's like
the term.
no, it's Fiverr. It's Fiverr.
I mean, it wouldn't be $5, but
right. So
Fiverr's not $5 anymore either.
Right. Wish. But yeah, I just thought like that would be
a cool idea.
Yeah.
Add it to the list.
But you got to be lazy. You got to take all that knowledge first. You got to take all that downloadable shit first. So yeah, man.
I was debugging podcasts today. I hadn't touched the code in years.
Oh wow.
There are people still making podcasts out there. I had no idea. I don't. It's weird. I don't listen to podcasts at all. I used to listen to them all the time.
Yeah, I listen to podcasts quite a bit, and I even make a shitty one. So there you go.
No, I know. I mean, it's still a thing.
So yeah, I don't.
I thought it would be gone by now.
I listen to podcasts that aren't board game related. I don't find the board game related ones too often.
Podcasts because you don't have to watch anything. So like on the drive to work, that I'm in the car for 2 hours, a podcast is great because I don't want to watch a YouTube video.
I like narrating, so that's why I like podcasts. I like narrating, or I pick people who have like a certain rhythm to their conversation, and I just stick with that. I just stick with that. There's a podcast I listen to called Lore, where they tell stories that are of folklore and lore, and they also tell the real story, like the actual story, versus like not just the story, but like what it was actually like, maybe a cover for, or what was actually going on in that time. Because, of course, these stories are told to kids, because that's how kids get these stories. And then they kind of keep going and morphing over time. But there was always what possibly was the original story, or what possibly happened, or what actually happened. So yeah, I love listening to that podcast. I like load up 10 of them when I go on a road trip, and then I check it out. He's got some good stuff. I mean, he touches on all the stuff, like in the beginning, vampires, Vlad the Impaler, the Pied Piper, all these different ones. And it's
maybe I should get back in the podcast.
It's a great it's a great one. It's got like good narrated music, and he has like a cadence that he speaks in that's very good. And yeah, I mean, like just even like the stories of a ghost story, but it's he's telling it as the accounts of the people, not just some like crazy, he just kind of, or he tells like three murder stories, and like some of them had like a little bit of a mystical element to them and whatever, but that's the people of the time. Yeah. So it's like, it's just kind of like he tells it really cool, So yeah, I just listen to stuff like that when I'm driving to Gen Con, or I'm driving, driving to something like that, and load that shit up and try it out, man.
Hey, everybody, I got to go. My wife just informed me there's a mouse in the mousetrap, so I now have to drive it 3 miles away.
Oh, my God.
Have to drive it 3 miles away?
Yes,
it's
if you
alive.
Good
for you for not killing the poor critter.
Yeah.
Mine don't survive. The cats
have you seen that?
And
yeah, my cat is right here. He's waiting.
You see that YouTube video where they let the mouse go and it's running across the field, and a hawk comes down and grabs it?
I've
got grabbing the baby.
You ever seen to a gas station that I know throws a lot of food away, and there's a lake nearby, so I give them their
Hopefully
best shot.
Have a good life.
Yes.
Best shot. Yeah.
I hope so. I'm gonna go say bye to that little critter and hope he or she does well, because that's one of my chores.
That one, the video with the hawk picking up the baby and trying to like fly with the baby.
That was that. I don't remember that one. I'm talking about like they let a mouse go and it's running across the field.
But it's like literally like in the park. This parent is not paying attention. This hawk comes, grabs a baby that's probably like in a I don't know, like a winter jacket kind of thing, and picks it up, takes off, can't hold it, and the parent comes and grabs it away. I'm like, holy shit!
Almost lost your baby.
Holy shit!
Have you seen the video of that bird that caught a shark? It's not a big shark. It's like a little shark.
But
there's a video of a bird. It's like a huge bird. I don't know what kind it is, but like
I'm not gonna have.
Someone's got a video. You just search for hawk picks up shark or something like that.
Hold on. I got one for you though.
It's amazing.
If it's the wrestler one, we've seen it.
The wrestler one.
somebody sent me a link. Like
the thing you posted today was awful.
Oh my god, yeah.
There should have been a warning there. It started auto playing on my computer, and I'm like,
yeah.
Ooh, what Lance post?
Oh, it's
I'm
terrible.
curious.
Don't look at it.
Now I have to look at it.
I'm warning you.
You should just be like, yeah, it's not worth checking out.
Are you squeamish? I mean, whatever. You can look at it.
Oh, I'm not squeamish.
Okay, well then it won't bother you then.
I'm looking for this video, and it's I remember Joe Rogan had on his podcast, and I was just like, this is ridiculous. It's like it's an owl that's so big it actually attacks chimps or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard you, I was like, there it is.
Owls are vicious animals.
Owls are something to be feared.
Yeah.
They have nothing on their mind but killing. Nothing on it.
Most animals, right?
No, I'm just saying, like that's it. Like
but owls, you get that cute and fuzzy image from like Winnie the Pooh and all. Yeah.
Yeah. Owls have nothing on their mind but killing.
I saw an owl outside of my street sitting on the curb, and I'm like, I want to get near it, but I really shouldn't.
It's between you and him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, even a crow is like, yeah, I'll just wait till he dies. No, and I was like, it's you or me, motherfucker. Let's go. Which way are you going? Which way are you going? Which way are you going, Aldi? I'm going that way too.
I know. Their heads can turn on a dime too, right? They can turn their heads all the way around and watch me walk by.
You think, are you going that way too?
Yeah, you're going that way.
I'm going that way too.
They're vicious animals.
They are vicious animals.
One of them grabbed a bald eagle.
Yeah, the area that I lived at.
Bald eagles are huge.
The part of the world or whatever the area that like I mentioned earlier in this conversation that like it wasn't very what's I'm looking for here? It wasn't very well populated by so we moved in basically like the animals had to move out kind of thing. Well, here's the deal. So like when I got in here, it was like I used to work super early in the morning, 3 or 4 in the morning. Yeah, I mean because we were surrounded by fields, a giant barn owl was sitting on top of our house, and I just got up and I was walking out to my car middle of the summer, and like I just heard this turn around, and basically like something that had a wingspan of like 6 feet just flies right over my head. I'm like, God! Just like, God, my cart. Now I know why Batman scares people, right? You know what I mean? Just like if that thing comes swooping down. But yeah, that was freaky. Just big giant barn owl just flies overhead.
It's an incredible animal. But look at that one. There's an amazing video online of it's an incredible animal.
You gotta mute it, Jeremy.
Is it the Joe Rogan?
The copyright.
Killing a hawk.
Yeah.
It kills a hawk.
Yeah, I was watching this Ron of Art podcast, and he was just talking about these owls. He's like so fascinated with owls for a while. I love when he gets fascinated about an animal for a while. But he had these different owl attack videos of just showing like how powerful they are, and like just animals that are so huge, and they just take shots at them, and if they can pick it up, they can even lift it off the ground at just a bit. It's gone.
Well, to be honest, you're the same way. Look at Thanksgiving with turkeys. You try to get the biggest one you can.
No, well, okay. So just coming from a turkey perspective over here, it's not a game. It ain't an easy thing. It is not an easy thing. Turkeys do not fuck around. They're mobbed up, and they're fucking huge.
There was just that story on CNN about they had to remove that turkey. Where was that? It was like.
No, for real. Like they get mobbed up, and if it's just like 1 or 2 of them, like if it's 2 of them together, like that's enough. Like they will run your ass. They'll run you away. Like they will, because they like kind of jump at you a little bit. Whereas like geese just like put their arms up and shit like that. And, like they like just floss real hard. Like they just do this and they keep walking. They're not gonna do anything, but that's what they do. But like turkeys, man. It's just weird to see these big things running at you. They're weird. They almost look comical, but at the same time, it's like, holy shit, there's this big ass bird running towards me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then there's like, if there's a bunch of them, there could be like 10 of them running at you. Like they mob up, you know. So
yeah, we went down to my buddy had some land in Middle Texas somewhere. I don't know. We went out there to watch the meteor showers once, and then the next day he's driving around on land, and we're chasing turkeys, and they're like running like craziness, like hundreds of them.
They're crazy,
ridiculous.
It's ridiculousness. Like, you know, there's feathers everywhere, the color everywhere. You know, like we got married in an Autobahn. So we have like these right there where we go. There's just like forest. This is a big forest, and around just the whole area around here used to be a forest until we, you know, took care of that. And there's just these packs of turkeys that come through, and then the foxes come after that, and then you know, and then we have our geese that come after that. So it's just and then the rats come after that. The mice come after that. So yeah, it's a really interesting spot we live in. All right, now
vote.
Yeah, weren't you going like a while ago?
I was, man.
I'm not throwing you out by any means.
I mean, you know, it didn't go well, you know.
Yeah, I suppose maybe we should call it out. God, there's 34 people watching right now, so it's crazy. I feel bad for letting him down.
What are you guys
all the you and I and Forrest for that matter, once we do shut down, I do have to talk to you two about something after this. So
Hey Forrest.
You're in trouble, Forrest.
I'm still gonna sing that shit. As you can see behind me, I don't have anything behind me. I still haven't put my basement back.
Oh, I'm not. No worries, man.
All
no
my
worries.
games are just stacked in it. I can't even see the games. Like So
no big thing, man. I got
once I dig out.
tons to
I
play.
will get you those games. I got tons of stuff I can send to you. So
cool.
Yeah. All right. You guys have a great night.
Yeah, man.
Cassandra.
Happy voting day.
Adios.
Oh yeah, it's coming up.
Oh yeah, I'm voting tomorrow.
I already did weeks ago.
15-minute line.
We're gonna go vote and get a COVID test tomorrow because God bless America.
Were you exposed?
My Thursday night game night had someone come down with it. I'm pretty sure at worst I'm asymptomatic because it was 6 days ago. But
I hear a little.
No, that's just because I've been cleaning so much. No, it's just dust.
I don't want to worry you. You're probably fine. You're probably fine.
I don't feel bad at all. So asymptomatic, I'm guessing, if anything.
But you don't want to give it to anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
That's the big thing. I mean, I still host. I told everybody at my game, I was like, hey, this is a situation, and everybody came still. So, but then again, I live in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and no one gives a fuck.
Wait, seriously? Like you were like, somebody here has COVID, and everybody was
No. I have a Thursday night game night, a Wednesday night game night. I told my Wednesday night game night about the Thursday night game night situation, and they're like, okay.
Wow.
Well, they were like, do you feel fine? I was like, yeah. Like I haven't had. And I'm not looking forward to getting jammed. I wasn't trying to scare him,
Kabuki. Hope you don't have it.
Likewise.
Who did I just talk to that had it? Shit.
You guys know that many people that have had it? I know a bunch of people that have it. Yeah.
You know what? I don't want to say it on here. It was said on our stream, but I don't want to like call attention to it. Very nonchalantly.
Yeah.
By a famous person.
Famous, like
I don't want to like spill it.
Famous or like real famous?
Board game famous.
Okay.
Board game famous. It was just casually mentioned at the end of their interview. And
I feel like for most people, it's the overwhelming majority of people. It's like, I didn't feel very well, and then I was fine.
Sure.
I mean,
Lance will tell you though that 1% comes up more often than you think, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, if the 1% dies, then it's kind of a big deal. Like
big deal.
I mean,
it'll be fine. You sound good.
I'm not worried about it at all. I have felt perfectly fine, and I haven't got much sleep. And it was 6 days ago, but who knows? Maybe I'll get sick. Maybe I'll wake up in the morning and feel sick as hell.
Can you get a free test?
I'll find out tomorrow, nonetheless. What?
Can you get a free test?
My wife works for the hospital, so I'm pretty sure I can. She said apparently there's some hoops to jump through, but yeah, I should be able to tomorrow.
Have you gotten tested before during this time?
No. I mean, no.
Yeah.
But then again, I didn't have any suspicion that I haven't really got my immune system's normally pretty good. So I don't get sick very often.
Yeah.
Because that's how immune systems work. I'm glad I explained that to everyone. God, my wife always yells at me all the time because I fucking talk like I'm always talking to preschoolers. I over-explain. And she's so right. Are we on air?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoops.
Lady, stop
Is anybody doing trick or treaters? Like, are you gonna answer the door?
No, my wife. We have like a small family get together party, which is like a couple of families that come for my game night and stuff like that. But no, my wife didn't want to do that.
We usually
What?
We usually leave a bow outside anyway because there's not really that many kids here. But I don't even know if they're doing it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure someone will do it.
I mean, yeah, I think like officially it's canceled, but if some parents take their kids out and stuff, you know.
I heard someone was using a PVC pipe to give the kid the candy. Like you just
they
put their hands down at the bottom of the pipe and
they'll decorate those up. I thought that was cool.
That'd be cool. Cool idea.
Leave your like lights off most of the time.
We used to leave our lights off and kids would pound on that damn door for like half an hour. We're like, God damn it. Although we don't live in that neighborhood anymore. So
yeah.
We won't be getting any trick-or-treaters here. They will not be coming here. There's no kids in this neighborhood.
Yeah. I got a bunch of kids. Mine last year was the first year
I like doing it.
Yeah. Last year was the first year I ever just stayed home and gave out candy on Halloween.
It's fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I'm normally like going to Halloween parties or things like that. And last year I just like wasn't in the mood or whatever. So I went and grabbed some candy that day and just sat out on our porch. It was fun. Yeah.
You doing your thing, Lance, or no?
Which thing? Oh yeah, my contraption.
Chainsaw Massacre.
No, I'm not doing that because I don't want to get near people. I am actually creating a. Well, you know what? I'll be finished with it tomorrow, most likely. So I'll post a video. You'll see.
Okay. Can you describe it, or is it gonna spoil it?
It would spoil it.
Okay, I can wait.
So yeah, I worked on it a bunch today, and I'm going to work on it a bunch tomorrow.
How many to trick or treat?
When you
it's so I'm able to still because I'm the house that gives out full size candy bars, so I always get lots of kids. So it's my way. I can still give them, but they don't have to worry about any kind of being close to people or what.
Do you think people are going to come?
Yeah, they do. They don't. I mean, but I don't want
to
be.
It's a full size candy bar, Cassandra.
It's a full size candy bar.
Come on. What's it?
It's trick or treating, going door
I know,
to door. Like other than the fact that you designed a really cool
not only
the kids wear masks, I feel like it could be done, right?
Not only do I give out full size candy bars, but every year also when like the parents were with them, I'd always ask them, would you like a beverage? And I'd have a cooler of beer as well. So like, you know, they're walking the kids around. So it's like, so the parents come too, because they're like, I get a Bud Light out of the deal.
Cooler full of Bud Light, baby.
Yeah.
I will say, as a parent, I love those houses. I normally hit like 2 or 3.
And then you're good. You got your buzz going. You're like, you don't give a fuck.
I don't get a buzz out of it. It's just it feels like a solid dad move. Like I got a beer, taking my kids out. I don't even like beer that much. I don't drink beer very often, but it's just like you offer me a beer, I'm gonna take that fucking beer.
Is it cold anywhere anybody is except Lance? I know Lance is cold always.
Well, it'll actually be like 50 degrees for the first one.
What?
Yeah, I was
it's
saying
40
that,
here.
I was saying to
it's getting chilly here.
I was saying to my wife, I was like, people like that have Halloween in like 60 degrees, 70 degrees. They don't know how good they got it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I know how good I have it. That's why you spend the exorbitant prices for California rent. It's because of how good you have it.
72 all the time.
Yeah, but like Christmas in like a warmer climate, that would be weird to me.
I mean, that is legitimately the thing people bring up the most when they talk about like if they don't like California weather, it's always Christmas. People just have like an emotional connection to a white Christmas, right? You want snow on Christmas.
No, it's not even snow with me. It's just the cold. You know, we haven't
moved
got
out
snow
of-
here in like 10 years. I mean, on Christmas, probably 20.
Where are you?
I'm in Delaware.
Okay.
Like I moved out of a desert in order to get weather.
Yeah.
Like I specifically was like, I'm moving to the East Coast and I'm going to college on the East because I want to see and feel seasons. Because
I used to have a joke on stage where I'd be like, if people always say, "Oh, California, you only have one season." Yeah, and that season is awesome. Our season is awesome.
It's called awesome. It's all year long.
That is what we call our season, awesome, and it's all year long, and that's all I need.
I enjoyed the cold weather quite a bit, actually.
All right.
I do when I was
like
younger.
a variation. You know, Texas is like 110 in the summers. I need 50 in the winters at least to make up for the dealing with the 110.
Yeah, but you know, one of the nice things is in February, I'll be able to play board games outside on my patio and still keep it safe.
That's true. We would probably be suffering an ice storm here when the whole place is shut down.
That's why I have an inside. I don't need the outside.
Well, and I mean, that's the problem right now with why, I mean, for COVID related, you know, one of the reasons why it's spiking so many places is because everybody is taking stuff back inside now.
Yeah, you have to now, right?
Older people are doing more indoor activities.
Yeah.
I don't feel like my indoor activities changed much. I either was working, so I had no free time. So I was indoors working, or I'm now home. I stay inside and I do my indoor activities at home. And there's just no need.
Didn't change for you.
Yeah. I spend less time in the car.
Is that why there's seasonal flu in the winter? Because more people indoors.
I believe that's part of it.
Is that part of it?
Yeah. I think it has something to do with the actual weather too. Like they thrive better
plus,
in colder weather.
Does your immune system like wear down in cold weather? Is that a thing?
I feel like that's
It could be. Yeah.
I'm looking for anything, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know.
I want some explanations. We know nothing about the world and the human body. Like we know this much.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. Like that we can create a pocket computer that can basically teleport my face to another person and we can't even solve the common flu.
Well, I think it's because we're so out of touch. I think it's because we're so out of touch with the outdoors, with nature itself.
Well,
you
it's
know?
also
there's
it's
other
always
reasons, too.
mutating. Like,
Yeah, it's-
how can you
Sure.
keep up with something that's constantly changing and you don't know what it's doing?
Yeah, no, I understand it's a hard problem.
No, but I mean, like we cleanse our houses. We immuned ourselves. We've isolated our immunity system from germs in a sense, being that we're so clean now. We're always disinfecting stuff.
I don't use it. Try not to anymore. But yeah,
I'm pretty.
won't matter. The super germ will kill me.
Yeah.
Because of all the disinfectants in the world.
Maybe it's the virus's time to go. Live. Maybe our chips are on our way out. You never know. But we'll get through this. I mean, we go through something like this every 100 years. From the time we set foot in America. The yellow fever.
We got clock change this weekend, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I always love that extra hour, even though I don't have a schedule of any sorts. But I just feel like I get an extra hour out of it.
I'm stealing time.
I'm stealing my time back. Ha ha ha! That you took from me in the spring.
Oh, that's funny.
Luckily, my wife is able to work at home for another month. They're not making her go back in yet.
That's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are time zones even relevant anymore?
Or what?
Some places are talking about getting not time zones.
Not the daylight savings.
Yeah, some places are. We had it on our ballot in California, actually.
Yeah, it was a farmer thing, wasn't it? The farmers need an extra hour during the day
That
to
was
work while the sun is
originally
out.
why they did it. Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah.
I think that day is over.
Arizona doesn't have any daylight savings.
It is so strange because
Yeah.
I used to live in Vegas, and you go to
Yeah.
the dam,
They didn't
and
care.
it splits in the middle. So if you walk and you're like, I can be in 2 different times at once, pretty much.
Wow, it's like
It's
time
very
travel.
cool. And we have clocks, 2 different clocks at the dam, one on either side, and they definitely are like, you can tell when daylight savings is happening because one will be an hour forward.
I missed a flight one time because I was performing in Laughlin, Nevada, and the airport is literally right there, but it happens to be on the other side of the Colorado River. And so I showed up because that's Arizona, and I showed up and they were like, no, it's 7 p.m. here.
What? Did I sleep for an hour?
Yeah, gotta be real careful about
I don't think
that.
I've ever had a time zone problem.
Yeah.
I probably have, but I just can't remember.
Well, Forest is a state of Indiana, one of the only states that is in multiple time zones. Part of the state is Central Time and part of it's Eastern Time. So that gets confusing too. Normally it's like, at least if you cross state lines, then it's going to change.
Yep.
But there, you don't even know different parts of the state are different time zones.
It's annoying.
And I had that, like, it was like, just beware, the time might be different depending on, like, you can't trust your phone because we're so close to the border that, like, we're in Eastern. All things that you plan are in Eastern. But your phone will switch back and forth based on
depending
cell
on
tower.
which tower it connects to.
And so you can't
That's
trust
annoying.
it. And I'm like, I can't trust my phone. The only way the time? Like,
I think you can turn that off, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you can.
Yeah.
It was
My computer
definitely-
used to do that too for some reason. I forget. It would switch between Eastern and Central. Turned it off.
Craziness.
Oh, there you
go.
I finally got Tapestry.
And?
I'm sorry.
I have mixed feelings. I'm not sure. We've played it. It's taken up most of our week playing it because it seems I just finished a game that made me enjoy it more because
everything clicked.
Not so much clicked, but every game previous I had gone the science technology route, so those were the main ones I focused on, and it seemed just like going military exploration just wasn't worth it, and you couldn't win.
I felt
when
science
you did
wasn't
that.
worth it.
Oh,
So
really?
that's the interesting thing about that game. It has so many different things. Like I felt like science was a waste, but because you can blank your roll a bunch of times and not get anything out of it, right?
True.
Yeah.
But then once you get past that, it's like, choose one of the others to move forward, any one.
Yeah.
And so it was just one of those
I need to
things
play
that
that again. I need to get that back out on the table.
I did a military heavy. I chose to do military, and I won out of the park. And I was like, okay, so it's possible to win via different routes, because it was like, it seemed like you were shoehorned into one thing and can do it. But now I'm like, oh no, it does have multiple paths to victory, which I was feeling it lacked.
Gotcha. I'm trying to think of how I was feeling. The
Civilization.
thing I didn't enjoy about Tapestry was the trap cards. That will wreck your game.
I was
badly.
definitely, the first game I tried to play military, a trap card killed me, and I want to say I ended the game with 50 points.
Yeah.
Ended my game. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't even
It's a huge problem. It's a huge setback if you get trapped and the other person gets your territory and you lose a turn, basically. Now you get something out of it, I think, but not.
You get to roll the die, but
You
the
get to roll
other
the die.
person gets to keep their outpost upright, and they get a resource.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what? But I also did have a problem this last game of the different turn basis, how like one person's game can end before the other.
Yeah.
I played when Devin ended his 5th round, I had just started my 4th.
So you played for like another 20 minutes or something?
At least. And it was like...
Which is like annoying because you're like playing by yourself and you're like, the other person's just like...
Yeah, it's like,
cool.
It's no fun for him to just sit there going...
It's an interesting... I don't know. I think it's cool, but I understand why people wouldn't like it.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're playing it this weekend with more players because, of course, we've been playing 2 until...
More players is interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited to flip the board over because we're playing with, of course, the...
Oh, you're playing the small board, yeah.
Yeah, and so... And we haven't pulled out the extra person variant, the shadow play puppet variant.
Right, the automaton.
Yeah, and I'm excited.
Have you played it? Have you played the expansion?
No, because I just got this one. And
you
then
got the base game.
Yeah, and then I picked up another one from the Ludwig, the Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig.
The Castles. Oh yeah.
I enjoyed
That's
that one actually quite a bit.
Yeah.
I like the...
That's a good solid game.
Mechanism where you're building the 2 castles and they're in between you and you're talking with your
I haven't played that one. That's between the castles of them.
So Castle of Mad King Ludwig is a Bezier game.
The other one's a Stonemaier.
Castles of Mad.
They're both... It's both.
Oh, they're both?
Yeah, it's Stonemaier and Bezier.
Oh, cool.
Like, I have this game.
Yeah, they did that with Leaders of Euphoria too.
Yeah, it's this one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I haven't played that one.
But you build the 2 castles and you're like, oh, that's going to be no fun because you're just going to focus on one castle and build that up. But you get the lowest score.
Yeah, you score your lowest, right.
And so you're really... And we played 2 players again, which was interesting, but it seems like it's
Is there only one castle? No, there'd be 2 castles, right?
You have to play it with
an AI.
An AI.
Yeah.
Who isn't even an AI. He sits there.
Gotcha.
But it's gonna really shine with more players because you're just the discussions that you're gonna have with choosing your tiles is gonna exponentially grow because you place them all face up once they leave your hand, and so you could do it first, and then your neighbors could base what they choose off of what you've played.
Is that in the rules?
Mm-hmm. And there's no talking during that, though. So no talking.
No talking.
Oh yeah, I think Between Two Cities was like that as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm liking it quite a bit.
Cool. It's interesting because it's interesting to hear perspectives on older games that for new people coming in play.
Yeah,
it's so funny that we consider like 2017 an older game.
It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
So old.
But I know there's games that are just as good as they were 2017 as they are today.
There's like games like that's one of the things that I think about a bunch that's hard where it's like there's so many good new games coming out, but there's also like we were talking about Descent tonight, the new version of it. Well, it's like, I've never played second edition, and I know a lot of people really like that game. Do I go back to that one to do it, or do I just do Gloomhaven or something like
yeah, there's dependence there, right? Like sometimes like a newer version of an older game will come out and you're like, well, you don't need that older game anymore.
Yeah.
But if they're completely changing Descent, which I don't know what they're doing, but it might be worth going back because I always thought Descent was amazing.
Yeah,
I liked the first Descent. I did not really like.
What was the difference between 1 and 2? I don't even remember.
Second one just dumbed everything down. It was just like
I have no memory of it. Like I just remember Descent playing it and being like, this is the best ever.
Yeah.
And then you play Gloomhaven and you're like,
yeah.
Descent, whatever. Nothing against Kevin Wilson. I had my good times with Kevin Wilson. But Gloomhaven changed the world for me.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I did end up picking up Jaws.
Jaws of the Lion.
Yeah.
Let us know when you play that. It'll be interesting to hear your thoughts on it.
Probably not going to play it for a while, unfortunately, because we are doing Mice and Mystics campaign right this
Okay.
second.
Yeah, that's a
and
lot.
we're, I want to say we're, Leo, what are you doing? Oh, my cat is chewing the box. And we're about chapter 8 of the first game, but we want to do all 3 of them before we move
That's
into another one with art, because it's going to be the same group. Until,
My
you know.
game night's playing through Jaws of the Lion.
Oh, yeah?
Enjoy.
All right.
You finished it?
No, we have a 4-player game of it, so we only get to play it, and we get 4 out of the 5 or 6 normal people. But we did the first mission that's like outside of the 4 or 5 tutorial missions, and it's good. It's good. I don't know if I'm crazy about it.
Sound real enthusiastic.
It's one of the very few games where I'm the person at the table who's enjoying it the least, which doesn't typically happen. But it's good. It's just
once you
other
get
people
past-
have analysis paralysis, and it's just like, damn, man, like I
Just
picked
pick
my
a
2
card.
cards in like 30 seconds. Like, why do you need 5 minutes to pick your damn cards? Just
Yeah. I always felt like it didn't really matter which 2 cards I picked, because you can change them, right? Like you can pick one top and one bottom, or the other one. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it mattered sometimes, believe me. But then as I played it more and more, it didn't sort of matter. But
because I mean,
unless we
you'd have these
pre-planned
plans,
something.
but they'd get messed up because somebody'd kill something or somebody'd move to a spot, and it's like,
Yeah.
why spend all that time if it's just
Yeah, just play a little more instinctually.
I don't get analysis paralysis,
After
and when I see other people
do
it's just
do you know the whole game after 5 missions in that game? There's nothing.
Do I what?
Do you know the whole?
No,
all
we
the
got
rules?
we got a whole bunch more to explore. I believe it's not my game, but I think we got a lot more to explore.
No, I meant like, do you know all the rules after 5 games?
I've never played the original Gloomhaven.
Oh, you never played the original?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay. Well, I will
I do
play it
not.
and let everybody know.
Excited, because if we like the Jaws, I'm planning on getting the Gloomhaven to continue it.
It's amazing. It's an amazing piece of gaming.
Yeah, and
I know Lance sort of poo-poos it. Or no, you don't poo-poo it, right, Lance? You like it.
Which one?
Gloomhaven.
No, I mean, I can see why people like it.
It's semi-deck building, isn't it?
You start with all the cards of your level, and you can swap cards in and out based as you level up. I don't. Does Jaws have that, or do you get all the cards? I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything.
We got it. Yeah, we had a pretty basic one. I don't remember.
Okay.
It's been broken up over 2 months now.
Right. The cards get more complex as you go in Gloomhaven.
Yes.
They start out pretty basic, and you've got basic things, and then you'll have a card that'll have like 6 things on it.
Oh wow!
Like, you know how you do top to bottom of a top or a bottom. You do all the actions all the way down, and you can do it just makes you feel good if you pull off a really cool move.
I'm also hoping to get a new group coming, because the current group that we do like our campaigns with, we have one girl who's like, I can't take it, I can't come ever. And it was going to be fine because the other people who we were playing with were still like, yeah, we could probably make it. But then somehow they changed their mind, and now it's like, well, if she can't come, we're not going to bother coming. And I'm like, okay, so until she's...
That's called group disintegration.
He's like,
I've had it happen too.
Why?
There's dynamics in play that you can't control.
See, I've been very fortunate. I've hosted my game night for 8 years now, and I've never even came close to it because I invite everybody. Reddit, I posted on Craigslist about it. I posted blindly on Facebook about it. I go hard. You want to play games? I don't fucking care who you are. Come on over.
And everybody gets along with everybody. There's no like.
I have kicked one person out, and she was a very pleasant person. It had nothing to do with her personality, but it was just she was terrible to play with. Just absolutely, like she'd fall asleep during rules explanations.
Oh, yeah, you can't do
like, how? What the fuck? How do I handle this situation? Would you mind
just
waking up?
Back, This group's not for you.
Yeah. Well, and I'm hoping that like
here. Speaking of falling asleep during games.
Yeah.
Oh,
Time is
I'm
Yeah, it's getting late.
It's late, Lance. Well,
It is late.
Cassandra had one more thing to say.
I was gonna say, I hope that she does come back because she was really good. She's just like all of the people who I'm playing with because of the time go to school with Devin because they're already in a bubble. They get tested monthly, and so we feel very safe.
Yeah, that's
with
good.
it.
If you can keep it that way. Yeah.
But she's like, I've got all these projects at school right this second, and so hopefully once her projects are done, she's able to come back to the group because I think that it would be really sad if we lost her in the group. Like, she's, of course, I could replace her, but like the dynamic that she brought was really good.
That's
so
good.
I'm hoping that we are able to restart once she's just a little bit calmer because her show opens, I want to say, in like 2 weeks, and so she
Yeah,
should
I mean,
feel a lot
sometimes
less
people need
stressed.
breaks from a group, and then once they figure it out, they come back.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need breaks from certain people in the group. But all right, it was a good time, good conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but other than that, thanks for tuning in. Go back, campaign trail.
I just backed it, even though I shouldn't have.
Damn time.
You shouldn't have voted.
Did you get the all-in whale?
Of course.
Of course. Well, thanks,
I already have
buddy.
that game, but I put it in library.
But you don't have the all-in whale, so there you go.
No,
all right, everybody. Like Forrest, Aldi, hang out for a little bit. It won't be long.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes,
all right. The rest of you
Bye,
can hang
everybody.
out too if you really want to. I don't care.